motherfucker.
Alright, man, Tony.
Count us down, motherfucker. Can I get a...
You gotta do
hell
the,
yeah.
You gotta do the...
Gotta count us down. Count us down.
A silent countdown. Dude, you're using some fucking fancy...
Alright.
Fancy
243. Audio. 242. 241.
Oh, let's learn
240. 239. Count us down.
What's up, everyone? It's Brandon and Kyle.
What the fuck is up?
Yeah, we're here with our good friend Justin. Today we're going to talk about love, hate, social media dating. Or sorry, not social media dating. Things like Tinder and Bumble, and probably some tech and fitness stuff. So
you know, it's just your favorite podcast, P. Diddy's Awakening, where we talk about what the fuck ever.
That's a good one. I like it.
Yeah. All right. What do you want your intro music to be?
Ooh. That's a tough one. The something Queen. Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as you...
Kyle and I just saw the movie a couple weeks ago, and it was...
I keep talking about it. I can't talk about it anymore.
It was good.
You can talk about it if you want.
It was... Yeah, no, I watched the last couple of podcasts, and it was brought up, but man, it was heart-wrenching.
Mm.
I heard he really likes his cats a whole lot. I think I already talked about that too. But
there were some clips.
Crazy cat lady, yeah.
Fucking A, man. We need to dig into this before they melt. You know what's really professional to do is open some food containers
right
on a
mic,
podcast.
yeah.
As close to the mic as you can be is what you want to do. That's nice. There we go.
Alright, so just to start things off, do you guys... Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. Go ahead.
What was I going to say? To start things off, do you guys think that websites like Tinder and Bumble and OkCupid and whatever else is out there is making the world more romantic or less romantic?
Ooh. I don't know. This is a tough one for me. Because, to give you a little backstory, I kind of dated, like, the first person I dated, I married, so I've been off the market for like 10 years, so I missed the whole... I never had a Tinder account, never had any online dating account, because I was 17 and we've been together for 10 years in February now.
That's a really beautiful thing.
A whole decade?
10 years, yeah.
In February or last February?
No, in February. So 2009, February...
2009.
February something we started
Can
dating.
you hear that? Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing
It's Kyle's promotion party tonight.
Yeah, he's a big boy now.
You know?
I'm a big boy.
Big boy.
I got promoted to head motherfucker in charge. HM thick.
Little celebratory.
Thank you. So yeah, you just missed out on the...
So yeah, I just
Tinder
kind of
age.
skipped the whole online dating fiasco. But to go back to your question, I think that it has... It's kind of funny. There's some articles out there that claim that Tinder has increased STDs.
That actually makes sense.
I don't doubt it.
Among a lot of younger of the generation.
Did you know that senior homes, like assisted living or nursing homes, are rampant with STDs? Did you know that?
I did not.
It's a well-known thing in the healthcare industry. That nursing homes are fucking... Everybody's got STDs because all the old people are fucking each other. Because, one, they can't really go anywhere. And two, they're gonna die soon anyway, so they don't give a shit. And they're just fucking each other and trading partners.
How old? There's a lot of heart issues with older folks.
Yeah.
And a lot of erectile dysfunction and whatnot.
Mm.
How old do you have to be where it's like, I'm too old to,
They got pills for that.
More. Just take some Viagra's and you're good, or what?
Yeah.
Also, like, how do they set those meetings up? Like, hey, we're gonna fuck. Like, we're gonna have some nurses outside that are cool with it and ready to go in
Do you not
case something
disturb
happens.
sign on the outside of the outside
No,
of the
I don't
door?
think... I saw a really funny video the other day. It looked like I think it was in a foreign country, but it looked like somebody was filming with the door cracked. But there was this old dude standing behind a chair in whatever room he was in. And there was some older lady on her knees, kind of hidden by the chair, so you couldn't really tell how old she was. But she was giving him head, and he was patting her on the head and, like, brushing her head. It was so fucking funny.
What website was this?
I think it was just, like, on Facebook. it had popped up in my feed, but I have no context, so I can't tell you how to find it.
That's awesome.
It just made me laugh so fucking
Have you
hard.
guys noticed that like Facebook is getting more and more like graphic? Like I'm starting to see videos of like people getting their heads and shit cut off just in my Facebook feed. They got like a little warning that like
Trigger warning.
And like I saw a random video of some dude blowing himself up with a mortar. That shit's on Facebook now. You think like all of the dark images that we talked about on a previous episode, like the Top Girl shit, like that's all just gonna come to light because of all the access we have, like information wise? You think it's gonna become a normal thing to see people getting like raped or whatever?
Maybe.
Murdered.
I don't really fuck with the privacy settings or like parental controls or anything. So I'd be interested to see what effect that has on it. Obviously, videos like that usually have a trigger warning or like sensory, like you have to uncover the video to be able to watch it.
Yeah.
So
Do the videos that pop up, are those based off of previous videos that you watched?
I don't know.
I read this article on about Facebook, and they literally, when you're on the webpage or on the Facebook app or whatever, they literally can tell how long you hover over something.
Seriously?
Like the video autoplays, right?
Yeah.
So they can tell how long you hover over that autoplayed video, and they're like, oh, this person likes to watch this type of thing. If it's like
that's
a
fucking crazy.
video about food, or if it's a video about people getting blown up by mortars, and you keep watching that shit, I think more and more of it like pops up. So you don't have to click on it, you don't have to press play or
just
anything.
how much time
it's just how much time you're spent. We're like screen caps pretty much of where
I used to get by most of the algorithms pretty well because I never like anything, I never share anything, like I don't interact, and I'm usually that way on YouTube too. Obviously, clicking on a video will initiate it and give some statistics to YouTube, but the fact that and I think on mobile too it tracks. I don't know if this is standard, but there was something that was tracking like eye movement. Like there was a feature in phones several years ago where you could scroll with eye movement.
Yeah,
right?
that was the Samsung.
I'm sure that was used.
Samsung S6 feature. Yeah.
In some data analytics, and it probably still is, but we just it's not apparent.
I have like a super love-hate with that because I'd rather see advertisements for things I want to buy. But I don't. I mean, it doesn't really bother me if people are watching me or listening to me all the time because I don't really do anything that interesting. But yeah, how do you guys feel about like the government is watching me? They're selling this to other countries, like the whole data collecting thing. Does it make you feel uneasy? Does it bother you?
Yeah, two sides of the coin. So
Would you guys like the chewing noises? Go ahead and leave a comment. I'll rate us on iTunes.
I'm not even gonna watch this video ever because that is my biggest pet peeve in the entire world. To have
Get closer to the mic, Kyle.
To have that amplified straight into my ear is my worst nightmare.
Yes.
So
that's some nice tongue
No, it's funny. I was giving. I was like, Kyle, you keep. Whenever you get on a tangent, he slaps his leg or claps his hands or
he
something.
claps a lot too. I think I do too.
You speak with your hands, like hands motions, and I was like, dude, when you listen on, like, I listen to podcasts a lot, and if you listen at like 1.5 speed or 2 times speed, it sounds like complete terribleness.
Yeah.
Oh man, when you're
sorry to do that to you,
but
thank you for calling that out.
Back to your question, I feel like when you get some kind of benefit out of it, like for example, looking at Google and Google Maps. I have an iPhone, primary phone. Apple Maps is absolutely terrible.
It is really bad.
But using Google Maps, it knows where I work. It knows where I live. It knows
so it's geography based,
like my mom's house and stuff like that. The different things that I've marked. So it knows has all that data about me. But I can long press on the app, and it's a little shortcut directions to home. I click home, and boom, it shoots off directions from where I'm at straight to my house. So I think if I get some kind of benefit out of it, I'm totally in. I'm totally game. But if it's just
analytics without any,
it goes like for give you an example. Like Amazon Alexa, that's always listening, right? It's listening for that Alexa cue.
Yeah.
There's a judge.
I got goddamn advertisements coming up in my feed I ain't never searched for.
Exactly.
I'm just talking about them to Billy Bo, and they come up. That's bullshit.
Yeah, so there's the whole conspiracy theory of Facebook's always listening to you, and I spoke about this certain topic, and it popped up in my advertising feed. But there's this I don't know where it's actually at in the court case, but there's this murder that happened, and in the house there's like an Amazon Alexa, or maybe you guys heard this story too.
I think so.
But the judge is telling Amazon they need to release the audio files from this person's house or wherever the Alexa was, to prove that their alibi is wrong or right, pretty much. So that goes back to your original question of, do you want people to always be listening? We have these devices that we are using in our daily lives that tap into that stuff, that makes it more convenient, which I'm all for. But I don't know. There's a line there for me.
Yeah, I've always been very much of the opinion that, like, I don't have anything to hide, so, like, go ahead, listen. I don't really give a shit.
Sure.
Like, if you want to watch me punch my balls through my webcam at 2 o'clock in the morning, that's fine. Go ahead. You know? You're the one that's going to be a little disappointed with the action. So, that being said, privacy should be an innate right. I don't know what there is in the Constitution as far as privacy is concerned, but I mean, it's willful by most people, right? Like, they're opting in. It's not a service that's mandated, right? Mm-hmm. Like you said, most of these things have a benefit to both parties, so most people are okay with sacrificing privacy for that.
But on that though, like, you can download an app to look at different shoes on your feet, and it'll ask for everything. It'll be like mic access, video access, everything.
Yeah.
People just click allow.
Yeah, they click allow because they want to play the game.
You know what?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
What people don't realize, though, about measuring feet is that it's not just visual. There's very much so an audio component to that.
You're right.
Your feet speak.
An audio.
An audio component to it. It's not just visual. Your feet speak. It's very hard to hear, but cell phone microphones can pick up on it. So
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, inside baseball shoe stuff. So it's I would expect
baseball. You mean cleats?
Inside baseball.
Are you talking about cleats?
No, inside
baseball shoes.
Back to the conspiracies. Do you guys know when a new iPhone comes out? The previous iPhones, people are like, oh man, whenever a new iPhone comes out, my old iPhone gets super, super slow.
Oh yeah.
And that was actually proved to be true. Mm-hmm. And a huge thing came out about Apple, and this, all happened last year.
Yeah.
Do you guys think Facebook, when they click allow on the app, Facebook is actually listening in on, like, things that you talk about or interact with different people and stuff like that?
I'm pretty confident, like, having studied marketing and stuff, that there's teams of people who go through and randomly listen to that kind of stuff. Well, maybe not listening to you, but they're randomly monitoring your actions, as well as, like, mass monitoring. But
yeah,
like the metadata.
Yeah, like, yeah. I'm pretty sure they're, like, if they see people who are constantly on Facebook and engaging in things, they'll figure out ways to make people like that, or see what the trend is, and then go hard after that target market. Like, if you have someone that's constantly clicking on advertisements, that's where they should spend their money. If they can get other people to click on ads and benefit the people that are spending money on advertisements.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like level 1 is all algorithms, right? Like, the entire metadata, everything at large is analyzed by algorithms, and then I'm sure they have flags set up to detect certain things, and then when those triggers are hit, that's when humans come in to more deeply analyze.
Yeah, the people that are making money off.
There's so much fucking content. It's 400 hours of content is uploaded to YouTube every minute, and Facebook's not there yet, I don't think, because some of it's written, it's not just video, but Facebook's starting to catch up. Which, speaking of, I have come to despise Facebook. I have a YouTube Red subscription, so I don't get ads on YouTube anymore, and now on Facebook they have ads, which is, like, before they rarely had ads, but now it's pretty much every video there's integrated ads, which drives me up a fucking wall. Because I don't have ads on YouTube, like, and I probably wouldn't pay for a Facebook premium subscription, right? So I just like, Facebook video is pretty much dead to me. That being said, they're starting to catch up with YouTube. There's a ton of content that's hosted exclusively on Facebook
Oh,
or
definitely.
Really?
hosted on both platforms, whereas it used to be primarily just YouTube, Facebook's. Yeah,
So if there
making
was
moves.
so YouTube Red, that I'm actually a subscriber as well. We're in the same YouTube family.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're a big
this
family.
is actually really. We'll pull the curtain back here. This is a MLM scheme to get you guys to buy into our YouTube, Google Family Services subscription.
utub.ecom.
utub.ecom / get your Betty Boys on it. Good.
Bad boys.
That was awesome. What? Question for you guys: what social media do you use most?
Definitely Facebook.
Definitely Facebook. Okay.
I mean, I scroll through Facebook quite a bit. Probably YouTube. I'm
Actually, they use
Is
YouTube
that
more.
is that a social media though?
I don't think that's a social media.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Are we
think
talking
you
like?
have to admit
That's
that.
a video
Are we talking
platform.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat? Where are we drawing the
Places
line?
where you communicate with other people online.
I use
Yeah.
Yik Yak
You-
exclusively. Do you guys remember
Yak.
Yik Yak? Dude, I was gonna say something. We were talking about nursing homes that you asked how they were scheduling these meetings, like if the nurses are standing outside
Yeah.
the rooms. No, I don't think it's that organized. I think they're probably just all on Yik Yak, and that's exclusively what the community is made up of. Is a bunch of old people trying to bang in nursing
Dude,
homes.
I love the concept of Yik Yak. Before I knew about Yik Yak, one time I was hanging out with an old friend, and I was like, I have this really cool idea to bring people together and do random shit. And she's like, that's Yik Yak. And my heart was broken. And then I found it, and had a lot of fun with it, and it seems like it's died off now. No one
it still
really uses
exist?
Yik Yak.
I think it's still. Yeah,
What
I
is-
haven't checked on
What
it
was
in a
the
while.
basic premise of Yik Yak again?
It's completely anonymous.
Oh, that's right.
But
That's
it was
right,
just
okay.
like location based, and it was really big on college campuses for a while.
The thing that's cool about that is you can have a true conversation. I mean, there's going to be trolls, obviously, but you can have a true conversation. Because there's everybody hiding behind this veil that they have to protect their, like, work and social life.
Right. So like Reddit, because that's for the most part anonymous, depending on how you use it, but location based, which is
Same
super
deal.
cool. Yeah, I like the premise a
true.
lot, but I never really got into it or leveraged it properly.
It's definitely a double-edged sword, but you find out, like, there's a lot of dicks in the world, and there's a lot of people, like, fighting those dicks.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice to see the bad guys get downvoted instantly into oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Definitely.
Did
Is
you
Reddit
ever-
is Reddit in the social media?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely use Reddit more than anything.
Yeah, I'm probably a
'Cause
Redditor too.
That's there's direct communication or a forum, so to speak. You
Yeah,
can't like.
that's-
You can message people now, but I don't think people really utilize that feature as much as,
Yeah.
like, Facebook Messenger.
Sure. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard
Yeah,
to
it is
classify
tough.
because like
Love
the
Reddit.
traditional cookie cutter would be like fucking.
The
what?
four you
meat.
need, yeah.
Bebo. What the fuck was that one? Do you guys remember? Bebo. Bebo.
You're
I
just
don't know.
making stuff up.
Bebo. You know that one?
Reddit.
That's a good one. I love that fucking website. MySpace, Facebook, shit like that.
Oh man, I miss MySpace too. Did you guys ever, like, actually go in and play HTML on your pages and add some music?
I never had a MySpace. I was too
Really?
late to the game. Yeah.
I totally went in and edited my HTML and
Yeah.
added a cool song, and
Ooh,
Yeah.
If you were really good at HTML, you could make it so people
that
can...
should be your intro.
it was probably
We're gonna edit that in and
some
post. By the way.
rock music, I'm sure. The MySpace actually converted into like a music platform.
I like that.
Yeah, a couple
That's
years.
what I used it for mostly.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, probably many years ago now, it converted into like a music social platform, kind of like SoundCloud or something like that.
Yeah.
Is it still, like, a profitable business? Or are they just
I
getting
have
smaller and
no
smaller?
idea. I'm
I
sure
mean,
it's shrinking.
that's the scale that it's at, maybe, but it's not like anywhere
Yeah.
near that it used to be. Did you ever finish your story about dating in the online age? We just fucking flew off
No,
the rail.
well, no, we kind of went on tangents, but no, the
Oh yeah, talking about STDs.
yeah, STDs and like
Nursing
grandmas
homes.
and nursing homes. No, yeah, I don't know. I think that it's increased STDs
Yeah.
overall. I obviously my background, I can only speak to it so much, but I think it has helped connect people.
For sure. People that normally wouldn't have, that are
Yeah.
socially anxious, that wouldn't go out to bars or
Yeah,
other.
I really like that feature. It's like this... Tinder is like seeing somebody at the bar and being like, hey, how are you? But it's like that on crack. Like, you can do that again and again and again and again.
But it's nice because it's you doing that scenario. It's like, oh, you might get somebody that's in a relationship or somebody that's not looking right now or whatever the case
That's
may
true.
be. Tinder, it's like you have two people that want to meet people.
yeah.
And then, like,
want to
being physically
others.
attracted to somebody's I mean, as shallow as people make it out to be, like with whatever, like fat shaming, and it's okay to be fat, all of that stuff, you have to want to fuck the person you're with romantically.
No hookups.
So like,
no.
If you can get over
Physical,
that shallow little barrier
physical,
that's gonna make or break her, it's not gonna make or break it, but it's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
It's probably a third of your relationship, I would say.
Physicality.
Yeah, you have to be attracted to the person you're getting to know on like a different level. So.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about being in a relationship long term and then something like physically altering happening to that person, whether it's
like
disease or an accident, like if they caught on fire?
Somebody loses a leg or
and
gets
like,
their face deformed?
They look, and then even further than that, like a mentally debilitating disease like Alzheimer's, where the person just doesn't recognize you anymore.
It's sad when that happens.
It's so awful.
Ugh.
How do you like? What are you guys' stances on continuing to be with that person?
Like, is it okay to leave someone that becomes deformed? So you're asking?
Yeah, mentally, physically.
So yeah, you're talking about, well, that's a lot under the sun to cover. So like,
I want you to address each point individually.
Each
We're gonna spend 20 minutes on each point a piece. Go.
You still love that person, so it's hard to. I don't know. You have that history together, and it's hard to, like, if like my wife went into a coma or something like that, or got Alzheimer's in her 40s or something, like the early onset Alzheimer's. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be hard to leave them, that's for sure.
But do you love that person, or do you love the person they used to be? Is it the same person?
That's a philosophical question, man.
To add to that question, what if the person has like a sex change while you're married to them? Like, what if my wife wanted to turn into a man? Would you still be with them, or would you try to love?
Well, you could go one layer deeper. Like, the reason people break up is because people change. We evolve. Like, is it okay to leave people that become an asshole and lose all the same interests as you and goes against everything you believe in?
At what point do you draw the line? And when is divorce okay?
How important is loyalty?
Yeah. Fuck, I don't know, man.
At what point do you cut that cord?
Right? Like, there's in economics, sunken cost theory, or I don't know what the fucking official
fallacy
name.
Or something like
that.
Yeah,
where people continue to put money into things that are destined to or bound to fail. Like, because they put so much money in it already, they don't want that thing to fail, and they want to right the ship, so to speak. But they become biased, and they can't see the fact that they're guaranteed to lose money at that point, so they keep sinking money into.
They're trying to mind fuck themselves into hopefulness.
Yeah, but that's correlation to relationships, right? Where it's like, I've been with this person for 3 years, and I don't want to.
When do you cut it off? And like,
so much overlap.
You don't ever want to hurt the person, and
that's the cornerstone of abusive relationships. They're like, I've been in this relationship with this person, and
that they can change.
2
the
years,
for them
2 years
change.
of my life, and they can change. And
I remember who they used to be.
Yeah.
It's such a sad thing to see.
It is a sad thing to see.
And it's so slow. Like, to piggyback on that, did you know that, okay, if you take a frog and throw it in a vat of boiling water, it'll instantly jump out? If you take the same frog, put it in a vat of lukewarm water and slowly heat it up 1 degree at a time, it won't notice the change quick enough, so it'll just die. It'll hit boiling and fucking die because it doesn't have that oh fuck response.
Oh, shit.
Perfect correlation to relationships.
Like human beings are like that.
It's
so sad.
Slowly gaslight your partner until they're fucking insane.
It's like a 2-year-old. They see what they can get away with, and they push the boundary a little further. And if they get away with it, they push it a little further until they get in trouble or get their hand slapped, and then they take a step back.
And they start getting creative when, like, you start taking a step back. They play this, like, creative little mindfuck game. Like, how can I reel her back in and ruin her life again?
Yeah,
definitely.
I go back and forth with the whole Tinder thing or any other.
You met your girlfriend on Tinder, right?
I did meet my girlfriend on Tinder. That's
a unique perspective.
Have you gone on a romantic date with anyone other than your girlfriend before Tinder?
Yes.
And was it a good experience or bad experience?
Yeah, I'm actually still somewhat friends with one of them, so to speak. I mean, she lives across the country now, but we're still friends, talk. So it was actually the first Tinder date I ever went on. It was like an old-fashioned date. I took her out for pizza, and we went on a few other dates.
Isn't that nice, dude? I feel like people don't do that anymore. Dude, like, hey, you want to come over and fuck and watch Netflix? That's like the new thing.
It's super easy, and I mean, like, I did my fair share of that too, right? Netflix and kind of hit both ends of the spectrum, so to speak. And and some really unfortunate things that I don't know if I'm going to talk about on this podcast necessarily. It's real good stories, and I probably should because it would make this episode more attractive.
It'll be released in our stories section at some point.
Stories. But no, I kind of hit up both ends of the spectrum, and I really like first dates a lot.
I do too.
And some people don't. They're like, I hate dating and like trying to make a first impression and not knowing where that person comes from. That's
a giant handshake.
That's so much fun for me to like impress people. And I've noticed something about myself that like when I initially meet people, I'm like at peak social interaction performance. Like I present the best
like how you put a
version
name
of
on that.
myself. I don't know how to fucking phrase it.
Because
But like,
you're free from every single
perception.
like memory they might have had of you.
Yeah.
It's just
But
a fresh start. Hey, how's it
play-
going?
invent
To play
yourself.
devil's advocate, though, like I've been, with my wife for 10 years. I just don't want to go through all that shit.
It's
like
a lot of work.
explaining,
No,
like,
I-
my background and my history, and like we just know each other so well that
The
we're just
familiarity is
past
super
all
nice.
of that stuff. So the familiarity and how she knows me and how I know her. That's I just want to do all that crap again.
yeah.
I totally get that.
I-
Do you guys ever feel like you run into obstacles with stuff to like talk about because you're so close and you do so much of the same stuff?
That's a good question. I don't think so. No, not really. It's not like we talk, for hours a day,
Yeah.
or anything like that. But it's, I have my hobbies. She has her hobbies, and I think that a couple things with this. I think that the communication that does happen, it's more of keeping things in place. So like, we have a couple dogs together and a house and stuff like that. So that's probably a majority of our communication. But beyond that, I think if we go out on dates and stuff like that, we have stuff to talk about.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was always
definitely.
one of my biggest fears. Like,
It's one of mine right now.
oh boy.
But I don't think I think what he's saying is like, because we've known each other for 4 years, then we could probably talk infinitely forever, and I'm sure you guys can talk infinitely forever
Oh, yeah,
too.
for sure.
When you like somebody, like you can talk about things that don't matter and have a wonderful
Oh,
time.
for sure.
Definitely.
Like we could talk about this door and how fucking weird. Like who was the first person to be like, we should make this door a little bit more shallow here and a little bit more shallow here and call that art and make that the standard for every fucking door.
Let's have varying degrees of thickness to this boy. Let's route it.
And there's so much of that shit. Like there's somebody's like there's a fire detector right there.
You guys can see that, right?
You can't see it, but
You guys
like
can see that, right?
there's so much in this world where you're like, it's somebody's job to make those look like appealing. Like there's a design aspect. It's not just functionality, and it's just fucking ridiculous
Yeah.
how much style matters to Americans. Like sometimes it's over functionality. Like
Yeah.
long heels, for example. There's no functionality in that other than making your butt look more firm, right?
Yeah.
Long what?
And taller.
Heels, high heels.
Yeah,
like
long,
stilettos
oh,
and
yeah,
stuff,
you know,
dude.
long
Oh,
heels
gosh.
that strippers wear and celebrity. They go out on date in long heels.
That looks awful, dude. Like it looks
Yeah.
like self-torture.
I
Listen.
love when you see the lady or the woman that can't walk right in heels.
Yeah.
And she's like,
Oh,
looks
yeah.
like a deer that's on ice or something.
Yeah.
And she's like,
Mad respect to women who have mastered walking
Oh,
in heels. I had
I
an
could never
English
do
teacher
it.
one time that told me that she could run faster in heels than she could in tennis shoes. And I'm
I
like,
No way.
I don't
Bitch, she
believe your
crazy.
English teacher.
I mean, maybe she's full of shit. I don't know.
like
It's
when I
probably
wear
an
dress
exaggeration.
shoes that have a inch and a half heel on it, my feet hurt so bad.
Dude, I got
Oh.
wooden soled dress shoes, like
Yeah,
nice
wooden
dress
soled, yeah.
shoes.
Oh, yeah.
One time.
Wooden soled? That's a thing?
Yeah, like
The expensive ones, that's what they have.
yeah.
I don't know
That's
why.
how super
That's
nice
what they
dress
have,
shoes
yeah.
are. I didn't know that. And I mean, I got them, and I was like, "Oh yeah, cool." They make this fucking. I sound like a Clydesdale, clippity clop motherfucker
Yeah.
walking
Yeah,
around.
that makes sense. Though.
Yeah.
And
Soleil shoes.
I was walking on some
Tap shoes or
concrete, and I was going too
Nice.
fast, and I like fucking ate shit and smacked my head on the ground. You gotta walk different in wood-soled shoes depending on the material that you're on. 'Cause
Really?
you will fall the fuck down. Yeah, there's like
Is the
shit
bottom
for
more
traction.
slippery or
yeah,
what?
it's wood. It's literally
So
like
the-
smooth wood on the
Yeah,
front.
the heel is smooth wood, right? And then
Yeah.
the front is usually leather.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
it's
you're right.
not very grippy at all.
Yeah,
It's really
like my fucking metatarsals started to hurt because I was angling my feet a different way.
Metatarsals. Where's that?
Medellin.
Medellin. kids,
Metatarsals.
lightning.
Metatarsals.
That's in the gooch of Northern and Southern America. It's by Guatemala.
On top of that, like the whole like torturing yourself for fashion, how fucking stupid are neckties?
Oh, they're the worst.
It
Whenever
doesn't
I
make
talk,
any sense, right?
I don't have that
I'm actually
prominent
like
Adam's apple, but like when I talk, I can feel it like gloop, gloop, like going past the necktie.
I don't know. I don't think I have that much of an Adam's apple.
I don't
Maybe
either,
it's because
but
I'm
it's
a
just-
woman.
How
But
did we evolve to that? Though? Like,
neckties
was it
don't really
scarves?
bother me.
Like a fancy, like I don't get how like if you wear a certain type of clothes, it's like the star-bellied, whatever the fuck they were called in Dr. Seuss. Like those green stars mean you mean something, and no star means you don't mean anything. And then they go through this machine, and pretty soon everybody's got it, and they don't got it, and then everyone's like, "What the fuck? I can't remember."
Oh god, that's
Like just fashion, dude. Like neckties and like certain shoes. There's so many high-end shoe companies that don't have that much higher of quality, but they've somehow marketed their brand as expensive as fuck.
Yeah, there's actually studies that suggest that humans have healthier feet and better performance when they run barefoot or just with like a very basic layer of natural plant below your feet. Like the whole
I think I saw what you're talking about.
running shoes
Oh, yeah.
have actually caused more problems with people's health and like posture and foot health than just walking around barefoot.
Yeah, I know a bit about the topic. The it's all in the way that the foot strikes the ground, and they say when you have more of a barefoot shoe or like a minimal sole on a shoe, you strike more with your forefoot rather than like midfoot or heel. If you do a heel strike, it's straight pressure right into the knee joint.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And when you have a big cushy sole, those heel strikes, they don't feel as bad compared to like a bare foot.
Yeah.
On top of the functionality or function style, whatever we're talking about.
Yeah.
How you guys feel about those barefoot, not barefoot rubber shoes with all your toes sticking out?
Like swimming shoes?
That's not swimming shoes. They're running shoes now.
You
Like
talking about the
parkour
Vibras?
shoes. Is that what they're called?
Yeah,
Where you got all
I have
your
a pair of
toes?
those, man.
Do you like them?
Yeah, I do like them.
Interesting.
I use them for. I don't use them a whole lot.
Dude, I bet you can give a killer foot job with this.
Oh yeah.
Lube them up?
Dude.
Oh, fuck.
That would be
Sex-
painful, dude.
sex-
Rubber on flesh? Are you kidding me?
Sex workers should invest in those so they're like condom for your
You
feet.
are not right, but I
Start a
like
company.
your idea.
LLC it, dude.
That boy ain't right.
Rubber? Oh my god, dude.
Ooh, baby. You ever just want to...
That's like turf on skin, man. It looks
yeah,
good.
you
It
want to get
hurts.
some rug burn on your dick?
Yeah, it's funny because some of the newer ones have like actual tread on the bottom of them, and yeah, oof.
Not okay. I retract my
Fun,
earlier
fun.
statement.
How dare you
Not a lot of fun.
I'm sorry.
say things
Nope.
to be funny?
Did you know that Nike, like how there's I think maybe it's just a YouTube video, but I think there's a documentary on it, how the one of the original like founding members, he got them in the hands of athletes and like they would just give them away for free to athletes because of the marketing standpoint, and like they leveraged athletes to build the empire that Nike is.
Of Nike?
Yeah, for shoes. Like that was a huge part of how they gained so much success.
When did do you guys know when Nike started?
Oh, wasn't it like the 70s or 60s?
I want to say it wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't
They're
very
huge
long
now.
ago. I know the giving free shit away from way too famous people is a great marketing
Oh,
tactic.
for sure. Chipotle, they're doing it next
yeah.
level.
Oh, absolutely.
Did you guys hear about the Chipotle worker in St. Paul that got fired?
Yeah. I did hear about
I didn't hear.
this.
What happened?
That was some
So it
wicked
was-
shit. So there was I don't want to misname anybody's ethnicity, but I think there were some kids in the store that like the manager was like, hey, unless you can show me proof of payment up front, like I'm not going to make you food, because they claimed that earlier in the week they were there and they couldn't pay for their food.
Yep.
And they were fucking making a scene. Like they were recording, you know how people do, and they're like, I'm going to put you on the internet.
the same
Yep.
day they couldn't
Yep.
pay? Or the
Different
next
day.
time?
Later on in the week, they came back and manager was like, you know, my employees said that you were in here earlier this week, so I'm going to stand by them, like, unless you show me proof of payment.
Yeah.
And then they were letting other people buy food that didn't have proof of payment, so then they were like, oh, look at this, you letting these white people
It was
pay?
a group of like 5 or 6 of them or something like that.
Yeah, just going off. And
And yeah, the story's like, so Chipotle fired this manager initially.
because of the outrage on social media, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's freaking out, and
Yeah.
they were just like, well, that's not right. Like,
And
that's
now-
racial profiling or
And
whatever.
now Chipotle's like retracting their...
Because the person who posted the video had several instances on Twitter where they were like, Dine and Dash will never not be interesting, and you know, we're
there's
not
evidence there? I didn't see
yeah,
that.
no, there's
Oh,
evidence of the
shit.
people put Chipotle on blast on video and was like, they're not giving me any food without proof of purchase or without proof of payment.
Yeah,
And then another tweet was like, you know, it's not stealing the food. We're just borrowing it for a few hours. And then another tweet that was like, hey, to another member in the group was like, hey, I think Chipotle might be onto us. We should probably switch our location. Like, what a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, they're straight up playing the system. I mean, I've experienced this once or twice where I've forgotten my wallet, and they're just like, whatever, keep it. It's on the house. It doesn't make sense for us to just throw it away.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's super nice. I'm going to be a loyal customer now. That benefits you if people are playing systems like that. There's so many people who just try and get free shit, and there's a lot of hacks like that. Like it's the same people who go to McDonald's and like, can I get a water cup and fill it up with soda every time, and they're just cool with that.
Yeah, dude.
I think it's kind of shitty that Chipotle reacted like that.
Yeah, no.
So would you want to work for a company that just sees something on social media and doesn't investigate properly and just says, like, you're out of here?
Yeah,
you know
so
what
then
I mean?
they
Like,
offered her job back, but at that point, would you even want to go back?
No, I'd be like, fuck you
Right.
guys,
Fuck
I'm
them,
not going
dude.
back, yeah.
Because you already feel insignificant in a
Oh,
giant
for sure.
corporation, right? And then they're just gonna fucking believe the customer instead of you, which depending on the situation, isn't always the worst thing because there are shitty employees too. But that being said, we talked last time with Ron about the homeless person who got all their money stolen. Turns out that was corroborated effort by the two people who
They
started.
didn't actually get their
GoFundMe.
money stolen. So just to clarify the story,
Yeah,
he did get his money stolen. Sorry.
but he was in on it with
Yeah.
with the two people who set up the GoFundMe. They were like, here, let's make this story go viral. And then the two people that claimed to help the homeless man took most of the money, and he didn't get his fair share. So then he was like, fuck these guys. I'm going to say that they stole my money.
Real quick to explain the story. There's a homeless guy, two people. The story is the homeless guy gave the two people at the gas station $20 to fill up their tank because they didn't have any money. It was his last $20. They started a GoFundMe and raised like $400,000. $400,000. The couple kept like $300,000 of it or so
to manage it until he got over his opioid addiction.
They gave the other dude $100,000, the homeless guy, and the homeless guy got greedy and wanted more money, and then just opened the can of worms. And now everybody knows that it's just a greed thing. It's all fabricated.
I was super mad at the two people helping him out because what a couple pieces of shit for stealing from a homeless person.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
It might have been their idea, man.
No, it was.
Yeah.
So they're all three to blame now. So fuck everybody in that situation. Just to clarify.
Fuck everybody.
Update. You're welcome.
I know. But going back to the Chipotle thing, would you, as a corporation, would you fire that manager so you look like the good guy in the situation?
I mean, that's totally what they did, right? And
that's what they did.
Part of the argument was, well, we didn't know about the prior tweets, and some reporter called them out because they contacted Chipotle and was like, "Hey, here's the evidence from the supposed victim, prior instances when he was dying and dashing or whatever."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Yeah, we actually knew about that at the time." So, in a private message, they admitted to knowing about that when they made the decision, and then publicly they were like, "Oh, we didn't know about that. Let's change our decision now."
To look like the good guys, they could fire the whole situation. They could fire the employee, and then slowly retract things like, "Oh, I didn't know that this and this happened, and we're gonna actually hire that employee back," so they look good on both sides.
I mean, businesses do everything for money, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's such a cause and effect thing that branches out now.
There is.
Like this Chipotle thing. Like, what happens if people like Rihanna or Drake start saying "fuck Chipotle"? They have such a huge hand in the world of social media, millions and millions of followers. That's a lot of money.
Like Kylie Jenner did to Snapchat.
Exactly. If those people stop shopping at Chipotle because somebody they look up to is like "fuck Chipotle," it's gonna seriously impact them.
What's the Snapchat story?
I forget what the fuck happened, but I'm pretty sure she was just like offhanded comment like, fuck Snapchat.
Was it with the big changes of the user interface and stuff like that?
Probably.
Oh yeah, she did.
Yeah.
And they rolled it back.
They rolled
really?
it. Yeah, it's
Really?
so funny. But I mean, it definitely had a lasting impact. Hashtag Instagram stories. Fuck with me. That's where it's at now.
Pretty much.
But I miss Vine. Can we get Vine too?
To roll things back a little bit, this is not the same thing that we're talking about right now. But do you guys think that unconditional love is a real thing? Do you think there's no point where you're like, I no longer love this person, like if they murder your whole family or something?
Do you think you could get to the point of unconditional love truly, so that regardless of what they do, you still...
Exactly. Like,
Your feelings don't change?
Is absolute unconditional love a legit thing?
Does that, like...
Is there a point where nothing else matters that they do, where you no longer love that person?
That's a tough one. Oh, I think that none of us are fathers here, but I think it exists.
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
Happy not a Father's Day to you, gentle sirs.
But I think that might exist with your offspring. Totally. Because and unconditional love is tough too, because it's like you remember, like let's say I have a daughter or son or something like that, and they grow up to be a really shitty person when they're older in their adult life. Yeah. I still love that person, have unconditional love for them, for those years that I raised them and the good times that we had together. But I don't know.
What if they murdered your wife who brought them into the world with you?
Dude.
Would you be like, fuck this demon child?
We could play the what if game all day,
right.
But I don't know.
Ham is the master at the what if game.
To roll things back, so
roll back the changes.
Let's define love.
Updates were not successful.
Define love. What does it mean to actually love somebody?
Fuck, this is
because there's so many people who throw around that term and it makes me sick.
Oh yeah.
After a week, dude, a 15-year-old to his girlfriend or boyfriend is going, "I love you. You mean so much to me."
Dude, I didn't tell my girlfriend I loved her until we were dating for like 6 months.
I did the same
ridiculous
thing.
Time. She was really mad at me for a while.
I want to mean it, dude. I don't want to just give this like false presentation of love, because it's, to me, love is something just like marrying means somebody.
And good on you for pushing back on that, because you're not Mr. 15-year-old saying it after a week and a half. But the love is a tough one. I think it's when you guys go through hard times. I think that's when it really defines you. I broke my leg last November. My wife had to take care of me for and it was a bad break. It was my tibia, and
that sounds awful, dude.
Pretty painful. I was in a cast for 10-ish weeks, and I couldn't walk for 14 weeks or something like that. But my wife took care of me for 8 weeks or something like that. We have a split level house, and I had to crutch up the
I came over
the
and scrubbed your butt a couple times.
Yeah, you did. Oh yeah. But I think when you go through hard times like that, where she had to make all my meals because I couldn't carry a plate because I had to crutch around the house, and she had to get take care of both the dogs and take care of all the house needs and all of that stuff. When you go through hard times, I think that really shows what type of person they are, and if they really love you or not.
Yeah, I really struggle with that, and that's probably part of the reason why.
Just for me.
Yeah, that's for you. I was trying to be a sweet boy.
This episode of P. Diddy's Awakening is brought to you by Le Rao, and
it's actually Trader John's.
Trader John's.
I love sparkling wine.
And it was also brought to you by BJ's. Slices.
Berry Jerry's.
Thanks for Berry Jerry's. Cream. Yours is melted.
Creme de la creme.
Just a quick,
totally.
just a quick plug.
You're right.
Yeah, go put it in the freezer right now in the middle of the podcast.
It's pretty good. I'm gonna check this out.
I dig them.
No, I really struggle with the definition for love, and even me personally, and that's probably why I took so long to say it, because I don't know. I've had a lot of my love life progression has been really weird. I didn't kiss a girl legitimately until I was 18.
Yeah.
I had played fucking Truth or Dare or whatever, and get a little peck, just get a little, just a quick little smooch, But I hadn't ever actually kissed a girl until I was 18. And then that same year, I lost my virginity, and that was a really interesting relationship, and it was very non-traditional and not healthy, and I shouldn't have been involved with that, but I was not the only one that was involved with that. It was real fucking messy, and I think that fucked me up quite a bit, to where traditional, and this ties back to Tinder for me too, but
trust issues or commitment things, or
maybe commitment issues, not necessarily trust issues, but just the fact that so many of my initial relationships were casual that
it's hard to take them seriously,
right? And if the ultimate goal for traditionally men, just want to have sex, and there's one of my favorite sayings is, women use sex to get love, and men use love to get sex.
Isn't that sad?
On either end of the spectrum.
You're so mean to girls.
So a lot of tug and pull. And if social media, dating, Tinder, Bumble, whatever the fuck enables, it to be so much easier to where obviously people use those apps for legitimate purposes to like actually find relationships. And you know, I was lucky enough to find a really awesome girlfriend. Shout out to Skyla.
She is awesome.
She's fucking.
How's that
killer.
painting going?
Yeah, Skyla. How's what's his name? Chris Hemsworth.
Cannell.
Chris.
Who's she paying?
But-
Chris Hemsworth?
Chris Cornell.
Chris Cornell.
My boy.
He's a
Rip.
rockster. No, but a lot of my initial relationships were super casual, and like if at the time, the ultimate goal is just to have sex, and you don't have to go through the work of a relationship. And
That
like,
was your ultimate goal at the time?
I mean, yeah,
To get laid?
Yeah,
It's
just to-
everyone's ultimate goal when they first start, I feel like.
right.
He's
So
like an 18-year-old boy.
yeah,
This is-
just a real horny boy punching myself in the balls 3 times a day. No,
I love that, man.
shout out to my boy Robert for that phrase. He started me on that. But being that you have a shortcut like that and you don't have to go through the work of a relationship, it kind of reduces the appeal of a relationship, so to speak. Like if you know that there are people that exist that are okay with that, right? And it's consensual and mutual. Like if those are the terms that you agreed to, and it's healthy, why not?
Is it healthy to like just continuously get the fuck out
Well-
with all these like people who are just passerbys, basically?
I don't.
Because I think about that. So my background, I lost my whatever love relationship background. Lost my virginity when I was 14.
You lost your maidenhead.
Yeah, I didn't really want to lose my virginity at the time. I was just trying to do everything before that, and I was enjoying that, and I got pushed into that, and I felt awful afterwards, and I kind of wish I would have just held on to
Were
it.
you raped?
I'm not gonna say that because I could have stopped it from happening, but I let it happen.
We're not laughing about rape. That's not funny. But
It's not funny.
men getting raped when
It's different than a woman getting raped if a man gets raped, because men can typically overpower a woman.
except when men do legitimately get raped, and that's not good. Rape is never good. But we know what kind of person Danny is.
anyways,
so
I was
relax.
trying to do sexual stuff when I was 14, and I did, and it was okay. It was a really emotional blow losing my virginity initially, because I was like, that was kind of a special thing, like to like share, to be that close to somebody physically is a big deal.
Yeah,
Like,
so
you can get
close,
close-
so close physically to them that you are inside of them. You
You're
get
connected.
so
It
close.
sounds cheesy, but you're connected.
It's like when when you approach the limit, and then you actually touch.
It's a beautiful, awful, disgusting thing that we do again and again. It
so
runs the world.
close. You get so close to their skin that you actually clip through the skin and you become fused.
Anyways, I had that, and then I also was in kind of a rough home situation, and I ended up
They
moving.
put you in a home.
Nah, not necessarily, but kind of. I had shitty aspects of my life as far as like where I'm living and what's happening. So I ended up moving in with a girlfriend when I was 15. And I lived with her for like 6 years or so, and her family kind of took me in, and that's like a big deal for me because I felt loved by kind of everyone. Like they didn't have to do that. There's no obligation to do that. Their family didn't even really know me.
Yeah.
So I have
That's
that,
awesome.
and I have the fucking around, and then I have. It didn't work out. Obviously, I'm single now.
Clearly.
And I played
Damn
Tinder
it.
quite a bit in between, but I feel like every time you have one of those interactions where you're just trying to get laid and you're like straight to the point with someone on Tinder, you're like, yo, I'm not really looking for anything serious. I just kind of want to hang out, bang out, drink some beers, and
Dude.
maybe watch some Netflix. After every single time, you're just like, that was kind of a shitty thing to do, because every time you fuck somebody, whether you like it or not, you're going to compare that person. You're going to compare whoever you fuck next to every single person after that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a shitty thing.
It compounds.
Yeah.
You said bang out. I don't know that I coined this term, but I had never heard it before. And I would ask people on Tinder sometimes, do you want to bang out? And that's where you hang out and then you bang. So like Netflix and chill, but you just cut some words out of there. Bang out. You want to bang out?
Very
Yeah.
efficient sentence. There you go.
I think that I coined that term. So fight me if you also said it.
It's
Show
true.
me
He did-
timestamps.
He did say that term to me like 5 years ago. So, if
fight
we got a time date on when the first person posted that,
Let's
if
go.
it's less than 5 years ago,
Coin the
Kyle
term.
gets it.
TM.
Yeah. So that
TM.
being said,
TM.
I think that the casualness definitely contributed to like commit. I'm not scared of commitment. I've been in a relationship for 2 years. It's just
Does it scare you to think that you might not ever be with anyone else ever again? Is there a fear of missing out?
I mean I don't know. That's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question.
This is a loaded podcast.
My girlfriend's gonna listen to this. I love her so much.
She's amazing.
I don't ever want to be with anybody ever.
You can be with her forever. I'm just saying, it's okay to be like, yes, I'm afraid of this thing.
Yeah.
Even if she's listening to your girlfriend's awesome, and I think she's amazing, and I hope you guys last forever. I'm just saying, legitimately, we have.
What got you over that hump, though?
To be honest, like,
because they're like people that you want. They're like girls that you want to marry, and then there's girls that like you just want to hook up on.
Yeah, good time.
Sure. I think Skyla's a really awesome balance. Like when we first started talking, there was depth to her there, and a compatibility, and a sense of low, not in a negative way, but low maintenance for me, which is huge. Like there's a lot of high maintenance women, and Skyla's super awesome about like
they're not like using you for something.
Just being super chill and like not
like
super
emotionally low maintenance.
Yeah, okay. And like not super materialistic, which is super awesome. Just a very like chill, easygoing, genuinely
That's a
interesting
big deal, man.
Yeah, and for me, like I always told myself I'd never settle. Right. If I'm not just gonna jump into a relationship because, and obviously I
hate that term, like
settling?
reachers and sellers.
Me too, but like I
hate it so much.
For me personally, like I'm not, unless all the criteria, and I don't have like, I'm not super picky. Oh, she's gotta have brown hair, and she's gotta be at least 5'8", and there's not any fucking nitpicky shit, but it has to feel right in areas that count to me in order to enter a relationship.
What are the areas that count?
I don't fucking know, man.
I'm trying to learn about love, man. I want to know if I got it wrong.
Christ.
The thing about it, though, is like back to the settlers and reachers thing.
I'm gonna have to piss so bad. I'm gonna pull my dick out on camera and piss in this cup.
I am gonna have to pee in a little bit too because I.
Well, nobody pees.
You can take an intermission because I also gonna have to pee.
There is this one. Okay.
Go for it.
Sorry. What you're gonna say is way more interesting. I was just gonna say there's this bar in my hometown that used to do nobody pees, nobody leaves.
Oh yeah, Kim's.
Not Kim's, but shout out to Kim. She's the greatest mom of all time. Fuck everybody else's
greatest bar of all time.
Greatest bar of all time. The neighboring bar would do this event called Nobody Pees, Nobody Leaves, and that was free drinks for everybody until somebody pissed or left.
Oh,
and
no.
I don't know.
The social pressure of that situation.
Maybe it wasn't free drinks,
gosh.
but it was super cheap drinks. The point was, I don't know if any bar else has ever done that, but Nobody Pees, Nobody Leaves on this podcast.
Put it in a
Changing the podcast name right now, Nobody Pees, Nobody Leaves.
That's ridiculous, dude. People die in those contests. Like the chick who died for a car because she held in her bladder and it exploded or something.
Really?
Dude.
Oh, man.
I remember hearing about that.
And the contest was the last person to take their hand off of the car
I've seen those.
wins the car. And somebody
there a rule
fucking died because they had to drink like a gallon or two of water beforehand.
Was there a rule that you couldn't piss your pants? Because why the fuck wouldn't you just piss your pants?
Did there like... I know when you drink that much water, your like electrolyte balance can... Like there's
you lose all your electrolytes.
There's marathon runners that have like died because they drank too much water without getting enough electrolytes and their brain like shut down.
It fucks up your nervous system.
Oh, it's really bad. Yeah.
You gotta drink fucking Brando. It's what the plants crave, right?
Yeah.
Some of you might get that reference.
But the settlers and reachers,
the
I don't know if you've
American reachers.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever met anybody single, but some people that they're like infinitely single, and they're like, well, my standards are really high and I just can't meet anybody.
Yeah.
I hate that because I don't know, it's just like weird because it's like you're trying to, it's very like, this might go back to the selfish, conversation you had last podcast. But it's just like such a selfish thing to say like, oh, my standards are so high, nobody can meet them, and I'm going to be single until the perfect person comes along.
Right.
Because I think it's more of a joint effort and it's,
compromise.
Yeah, you compromise in certain areas and you compliment them when their weaknesses and, kind of vice versa. So I think that it's, love is whatever you want to make it. And it's different for every person.
Home is where you make it.
I think you're right.
You like to see homos naked?
Yes.
I'm mostly asking because it pisses me off how much that word is used, and I feel like it's beginning to mean absolutely nothing. It's starting to mean I like you.
We, for sure. Definitely. When Skyla and I first started dating, we would restrict our usage of it because we didn't want to wear it out. Like, don't overuse that shit.
Right? You shouldn't, man. You shouldn't. You should save that shit.
When you get ready, in the morning or something like that, you go to work. You don't say it.
I mean, I do now, and I should probably pay attention and be more.
Is it really
conscious?
wrong? Though? Like, you can feel it. You can feel it.
It's
you
all
can
about
make them want to feel something good.
Down in my
Because you never know, like, the last time you'll see somebody is.
Yeah.
So
You
it's
don't
like
wanna
I
waste
try
it.
to
for sure.
I try to say, you know, before we leave or
Yeah,
whatever.
I'm real OCD about it. I've got to say it at least 13 times. I love you. 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 I love you.
The last girl actually, that's not true. 2 girls ago, before I was seriously dating. I'm not gonna say her name, but she was an awesome
Rachel.
She was an awesome human being.
It's not Rachel.
And she was great. She was a wonderful girlfriend. She did everything I needed. But like, I didn't say I loved her until like over a year of dating.
Whoo, boy.
I also didn't kiss. Like, so
I never kissed her.
I'm in this weird.
I never kissed her, for the record.
I don't know if it's a
Maybe you
minority
kissed
or
her.
something, but like, I don't feel. There's so many people who go for the kiss right away and they try and get laid, and it's like, oh, is it a first date thing? You do on the second date? When do you go for it? And I've never been about that. I've been like, let the girl do when she wants, and for me that worked out
You're such a
really well.
romantic.
So it was like, I try to be romantic. I grew up with a mom and a sister.
Yeah.
and
Dude, here, seriously, we could solve so many problems if only girls could initiate. Like, the premise
Oh
of
my God! Can you imagine?
The premise of Bumble
If
is
there was
so
a
genius.
fucking force field, Bumble
shit.
is. Oh my God, dude, that would make the world a wonderful place.
But like, obviously, if everybody played by the rules, most rapes would stop because men would never initiate, right? And they would just know. I mean, there's still people who are going to offend, but a lot of the gray area where it happens when it shouldn't and there's not consent, if a girl initiates, you know, and then guys understand that she can say no at any time still. But the fact that a girl can initiate, there's like, just makes it so much easier for everybody.
I don't fucking
There'd
understand.
be a lot more single people. A
Right?
lot more single males.
Yes, there would.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
We would single-handedly solve the population problem.
It would switch to attractiveness though, 100%. Because there's some guys who have girls that are way more attractive than them because they're witty as fuck and smart and fun to hang out with. So you'd lose that, which
like
is
me.
a sad thing.
Skylar's so hot.
What was I gonna say?
Such a
I'm
settler.
sorry.
No, it's alright. This is a fun conversation. I was gonna rant about how I don't understand how people can rape anyone. That's just like it's like murdering their soul a little bit, basically. You know, it's like attempted murder. You're fucking ruining them as a person. That's something they're gonna think about. It's gonna haunt them. It's gonna fuck up future relationships. Anytime someone tries to be intimate, it's just an evil fucking thing to do.
Yeah.
You can't rape somebody and not have a mental health issue, right?
Yeah. I have like, I
It's a huge issue. I know that.
It's
crazy.
so common in places where you can get away with that without being punished by the government, like Africa, dude. It's like it happens all the fucking time,
The
and because
Wild
it's
West.
falling on deaf ears, there's
The
nothing
Wild
you can
East.
do about it.
Honestly, I feel like girls and women just in general, they can't walk down the street without getting
Dude, it's
slapped
so
by like 4 penises.
terrifying.
Like it's just like my wife walks around the grocery store by herself. She's like, and I'm getting something in a different aisle or whatever. She's like, that guy hit on me over there.
It's
And I'm
awful.
like,
Dude.
you were not with me for 10 seconds. You know what I mean? It's just like, holy shit.
I've always been such a pussy when it comes to like initiating and like never wanting to seem like a creep that
Yeah.
I'm so far on the other end of the spectrum that I don't know how the fuck people do that. Like there has to be some
Kyle's over here
reciprocal.
like staring at his shoes,
Yeah,
walking,
dude, I'm
walking
such a like.
everywhere.
That's where Tinder comes in.
But the
Yeah,
thing is, like,
no,
my
it's fucking great on
my
Tinder.
wife has a humongous ring on. It's like, costs like 3 times more than my car is worth. And like, how do you not
You had to
see
compensate
that?
for your little, your
absolutely.
little dinky.
Oh, fuck.
Dinky.
Label
free,
that bitch.
definitely.
You're like, this is mine. Don't touch it.
But it's just like, have a little respect,
Seriously,
It's just like you
fucking
are.
common decency, man.
Savages.
Like, and there's obviously varying degrees to it. But how the fuck do you get to the point of rape when there's no reciprocation? Like, god damn.
How are you even turned on by that? They're probably having an awful time and making it super well known that they're having an awful time. How can you power through that?
Yeah,
It's just
well-
fucking evil, dude.
So I talked to Skyla about like there's a lot of women who like to role play that in safe situations in healthy relationships. And
Yeah.
obviously that's a completely different thing and it should never go beyond that. That you should have consent and it should be controlled and everybody should be okay with it, safe words, whatever. But maybe what happens is guys who are in that relationship also like that role play, right? And women like that because it removes responsibility from them. Like they don't have to make decisions. They're just told what to do. They don't have a choice in the matter, which is nice, like sexually liberating. And again, in the
For
right
some.
in the right circumstances, totally fine and healthy, good for people who are in committed relationships who are consenting adults. But
Yeah.
maybe guys that partake in that and that are no longer in a relationship, maybe it spirals out of control, or like because guys talk about that stuff, maybe other guys know that like some women want that and they think that like, okay, maybe if I take this to the next level and surprise a stranger, that's gonna work. I don't know what the
They'll
fuck
mind
the
fuck
logic is.
themselves into creating a romantic situation that's not romantic.
like
Doesn't
justify
I think
it.
it comes like on their upbringing and how they were
Sure.
raised.
I'm
and
sure
if
there's
they
a lot
were-
of trauma.
I think
that
like
plays into it.
if they're like sexually abused as a kid,
Yeah.
or like if they had traumatic experiences as a kid, I think that plays a lot into
Like, where it's more okay
decisions.
because it was okay for them
Yeah,
to get
yeah,
fucked
like,
up and
you know,
without
it's
any
like-
punishment.
they have mental issues that stem back from years of abuse in their younger lives. And
Yeah, not to
Um,
take a serious topic off the rails, but I don't know if you can
Had a
hear
what?
that, but I had to rip some ass.
you should have did it right into the microphone. Like,
No,
ass-
don't.
ass
That's
cheeks
way too
spread.
close to my face.
Should have stood up on the chair and blasted
Just
him.
team.
Tough Girl 2.0.
Ah, shit. Anyway,
Intermission.
are you gonna go piss? Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. No, you can leave. You want to shout from the
That's
bathroom?
alright, man. No, we'll wait.
Yeah. No. Wait. No. Go ahead. I said nobody pees, nobody leaves. God damn.
So you just got a promotion comment. How does that physically feel on you? I think that's a big promotion. Within your company, you're going to be doing things that really matter and affect the people you care about.
I'm actually super excited about it, and like, I'm kind of scared to be doing this podcast and like speaking pretty off the cuff and honestly.
You're being real, man.
Right, and I don't know how that's all gonna play out, but as far as like within the realm of the business, I'm super excited because I've been a big fan and kind of wrapped up in the world that I'm in for a long time, and I'm real passionate and an advocate for a lot of things, and so it's nice to kind of bring it full circle to what I used to be doing and to be able to help affect change and make things better for a lot of the frustrations that I used to experience myself. So that's super exciting. I'm also excited about the team. There's a lot of talented, smart people, so it's an exciting opportunity for sure.
As somebody who's hired and fired people and
Ooh.
just successfully interviewed for position, man, like if you could give somebody a small enough amount of advice that they'll fucking remember it, like what do you tell somebody who's going for an interview where they're not just gonna lose it all in the details of paragraphs upon advice?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that can help a ton is being able to perform an interview yourself or sit in on an interview. If you can see things from the other side, if you've never had the opportunity to interview somebody, talk to your manager, whoever, see if you can sit in on an interview.
And Justin's had the same experiences, so
Right, so you can speak to it too, but that's so eye-opening. Obviously, if you facilitate enough interviews yourself, you get pretty good at it, and you kind of understand the whole fucking mind judo that happens and politicking, so to speak.
But what if you
scenes.
can't, which is most people's
Sure.
situation?
I think, well, depending on where you're at, you could probably finagle your way to that, but if you can't, I don't know, go ahead.
I wish that being a manager in the past and hiring and firing people and stuff like that, I wish that there was like
I'm shitting my pants over here.
gross.
I'm really sorry.
I'm glad I can't
There's a
smell
fan
it.
on, so hopefully.
Hopefully it whiffs it away.
I
Here.
thought that's what that
But I wish there was like a trial. I wish everybody like temp hires.
Yeah.
I wish everybody got like 90-day. I'm gonna hire you for 90 days and see how
Probation
things go.
period.
Like a
Everyone was
probation
temp to
period.
hire?
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Because there's
it's
so much shit that you can't tell because of
Oh
an
no,
interview.
not at all.
Like I've had several good hires, but then there's also some that like just got totally blindsided by shit that
Definitely.
you can't predict. And hiring is one of the most important things that you do in an organization.
Definitely is. Especially if you're a manager. It's like your people are. You live and die
It
by
makes or break your work
yeah,
life.
it definitely does.
Right.
And the trial period too, it would show so many things about their character and how they work and if they show up on time and all the other little things that happen that you may miss in an interview. And it's sure, maybe you kick things off or you hit things off with a person in the interview and you're like, this guy's awesome or this girl's awesome, and I can go have a beer with them and they seem really cool, but then they're shit work ethic or something like that.
And I feel like that's sometimes the case. There's people that can talk and convince you that there's something, and then once they get the job, they're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna work the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully nobody notices. And there's so many of that all the time, everywhere. It sucks so much.
People suck. They get into positions where they're not competent enough, or they don't have the work ethic.
Pseudo workers.
Yeah, pseudo workers.
I don't know if there's one thing, but a big thing is obviously don't be a piece of shit. Like, give a fuck about your current job. Like, be a decent employee and have good work ethic, right? Don't try to skate by. Like, actually try to make a fucking difference. And then when you go in the interview, take what you're already doing well in your job and display that. Like, here's why I'm already good in this position and what I would be, why I would be a good fit for you. And here's some qualities that are pertinent to the job, you know, but don't try to oversell yourself, right? If you're not a good fit for the job, then you probably shouldn't be there for both parties, right? It's a good thing if you don't get the job if you're not a good fit. It's, you know, it'll benefit you in the long run if you actually get into a position that you're well suited for. So be true to yourself. Like, that's super fucking cheesy and cliche, but don't become something that you're not. Right?
Just be
like,
real, because you can tell if somebody's faking it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's like, it's going to make it so much easier when you get into role. Like, if you have the skill set, you're qualified for it, and you like display what you're going to be like to work with, and you're actually having a natural conversation with somebody, like, just fucking talk to the person, right? I know that can be hard with strangers, but if you can somehow trick yourself into thinking that you're talking to a good friend, and that can be really difficult depending on the interviewer's personality, but find a way to just have an organic conversation where you're displaying what you actually are and what you can bring to the table.
I honestly feel like that's so. There's a lot of people that are super intimidated by other people. I'm not really one of those people. I don't know what it is, but I feel like deep down at the root of human beings, we want to connect with other people. It's not as hard to connect with somebody if you want. Just like find a easy connection.
Common ground, yeah. Ask. People do so much fucking talking. And we talked about it with Ron, but
it's so
listen,
easy.
Ask questions, right?
No, definitely.
Honestly,
they usually give you
door.
Yeah, they give you opportunity at the end of the interview to ask questions, but if you can work that into your set, right? It's normally more of a question answer format, but if you can find an organic way to do it, to ask them questions and not to just like feel out what your response would be, but, you know, build off it and look for natural openings that can help open doors too.
What's the best
I have
question
to piss
somebody's
so bad.
Let's go piss, man.
Everybody piss. We're all gonna
I'm
go
gonna
piss
go
at the
to
same
you
time.
probably just because of all this wine.
Everybody
But
go piss.
I hope you guys are having a good time watching this, because we're having a good time doing it. What is the best question somebody's ever asked you in an interview, either post interview or during the interview?
Yeah, that's a tough one. You know, one of the best.
Oh my god!
If you guys can't hear it, Kyle is.
That's good.
He's a moany pisser.
Moaning pisser, yes, that's very entertaining. No, one of the best stories though that I had is, you know, this is when I worked at Best Buy, and you know, you get a lot of younger people working there, a lot of high school students and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to get really good hires. But one of this one guy, I'm not going to name his name, but he was just super honest with me. He was just like, hey, you know, I'm 19. And, you know, I was asking him about his last job and stuff like that. He's like, I got fired because I didn't show up on time. And right then and there, he made a commitment to me to, you know, fix that problem. And he was really honest with me. And that kind of took me aback. And I'm just like, geez, if he's honest with me and I don't even know him, he's going to be honest with me about every single thing that from here forward.
Honestly, it's such a huge thing, dude.
Yeah,
People
it took me back and
fucking
just
hiding
like...
everything.
Like, he's going to be one of the best hires.
Did you end up hiring him?
Yeah, hired him.
Was he a great worker?
Yeah, he's a fantastic worker.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of interview stories, this one's not a good one. It's pretty funny. I interviewed a guy one time, and first question we asked him was...
I'll be right back quick just because I know.
Yeah.
Okay, let's fuck up this table.
Let's fucking lift the fucking table.
I'm gonna put this.
Let's put the table on top of the bed. And
I need a small bed.
so the first question we asked him, my boss and I at the time, was, what attracts you to this position? And his answer verbatim was, not really. And we both looked at each other and had to do everything in our power not to fucking explode with laughter, because that's so funny. Let me give you that to you one more time in real time, what it sounded like. All right, so yeah, what attracts you to this position? Not really. Holy fuck, that's so funny. So he goes on and elaborates some more, you know, about how he's like really focused and stuff, and I start to gather from it. I forgot to mention he was a foreign speaker. His English was not his first language, and I could see that he was struggling a little bit, but with context clues, I eventually determined that he thought the question was, what distracts you in your position? And my boss at the time had no idea. Like, I looked at him and he was fucking just glazed over because he had...
That's not even a complete sentence, though.
Not really?
Yeah.
Well, so
like
what distracts you in... Right, so he's not...
Okay.
English wasn't his first language,
Yeah.
so for one, he didn't answer the question. Two, the question that he thought he was being asked, he didn't really answer that properly either, which communication was a big part of the job, so unfortunately he didn't get it. But my boss he had no fucking idea what he was talking about. He was like, okay, yep. And I was like, hey, I think what you might have thought the question is what distracts you in your current position? And so I elaborated, and then he was like, oh, and then he gave an answer. But just the fucking starkness of, not really, fucking got me, dude. One of my all-time favorite answers to an interview question, for sure. Yeah. You got any other good interview
Anecdotes? My stomach hurts so bad.
Yeah.
Not really. I'm letting him sneaking
Welcome
out.
back.
Refilled on the wine and everything.
Oh, yeah.
I like how you brought that in the bathroom with you. That's
My talk juice, man. I would bring
Is
it in the
that
shower.
blood? Did you piss that?
I wish, dude.
You vampire?
vampire.
You Dragula.
On top of that, dude, as fucked up, as funny as this sounds, because we're talking about romance and whatever, and vampires have a history of being romanticized.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the people that legit assume that persona? They sharpen their teeth. They legit drink blood. They're like,
Yeah.
this is who I am. I'm a part of this group of people who listen to the hardcore stuff.
I mean, in the whole drinking blood thing, I feel like that's one step removed from cannibalism. Like, you're consuming parts of human species.
You want to talk cannibalism though? Like, is cannibalism actually?
Wait, they drink human blood or just blood?
They drink. I think it's a little of this, a little of that.
A mixture?
Interesting.
Probably
Heinz-
mostly not human blood. I feel like that would be difficult to get.
The
Yeah,
Heinz
no,
57 variety of blood.
Just blood in general. That's gross, man.
57
It
different
is
Or
varieties
like
of
get it cut in
tomatoes.
your mouth and it's like that iron, nasty,
Yeah.
metallic taste.
It doesn't bother me too much, but I wouldn't go and I waited.
I had a dog one time that we referred to as a Heinz 57.
Is cannibalism bad? Bam.
That's the question. Next topic.
Well, yeah.
Is cannibalism bad?
Is it okay?
If you're killing people,
What if they're dying
No,
of
hold on.
natural causes?
So cannibalism, you can get all sorts of different
diseases.
diseases and like different infections and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
What if,
Depending on
even
how
if
the-
it's prepared correctly?
Maybe
Yes. Even if it's prepared correctly. It's kind of like 3 times removed, but Naomi has a friend of a friend. That's my wife, Naomi. That's
Hi, Mom.
Oh, that's all right then.
Kyle's on the phone.
Put her on speaker. Let's get her on the podcast.
Okay, hold on.
You want to be in a movie?
Hey, Mom, you're on the podcast right now.
Ooh.
Can you hear me?
What?
You're on the podcast right now.
What's that mean?
We're just
You're on TV.
Me and Brandon and Justin are talking. We're doing a podcast
Hey,
right
what's a
now.
podcast, Kyle?
It's like audio recording. We're just shooting the shit. Anyway, you asked me what I'm doing for Turkey Day.
Yeah.
I'm going to Skyla's dad's. They were nice enough to take me in.
Well, have fun.
I will. What are you doing?
Your new position and title.
I'll call you back later and talk to you more about that.
Okay.
All right. I love you.
Love you too.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, it was a beautiful moment, man.
I don't give a
Thanks.
fuck what any of you guys are doing. My mom is more important than you.
I agree
Oh,
with you. Your mom's
dude,
more important than this for
fuck
sure.
the
Mama
listeners.
Lundgren, her treats are amazing.
She has a lot of really good baked goods.
Yes.
Chocolate chip
Oh,
cookies.
Just to add to this, I mean, I'm sure most of you know this that are listening, but
Only our friends are listening to this.
this man's goes to Iowa once every other week or so,
Like once every 3 weeks, yeah, once a month, something like that.
and every time he goes, his mom hooks him up with just like containers and containers of baked goods.
Delicious.
And he'll drop them off at places with friends, like just places people work. It's just a community thing, you know, giving everybody some.
That's a good way to
Some
make a lot of
Mama Lundgren.
friends.
It is.
Yeah,
you
especially
know,
like if you're, because you moved from Iowa and you didn't have any,
Yeah.
your social circle is very big, and you, oh man, everybody loves you because of that.
yeah, man.
It's just
Mama
a
Lundgren.
nice
God
thing to
bless
do,
her.
man.
Seriously. I wish that I could say that I would still do that if she wasn't making treats, but I'm so lazy that I don't know if I would. But God bless her. She's gotten me so much favorability and good PR with people.
absolutely.
Can you still make people saints? Is that still a thing, or are we like past that?
Why
as
not?
a-
I think you
Sure.
still can. We
but
should make.
Are they still doing it? Who does that? The Pope? Does the Pope do that?
I don't fucking know.
The church as a whole?
Go ahead and tell us in the comments 3 months from now so we can know who makes people saints.
Yes.
There's a lot of little people getting like missed out on, like your mom. She
Little-
should be made a
lot-
saint.
Like Vern Troyer. And
Vern Troyer.
and Peter Dinklage.
I like that name.
Peter Dinklage.
Oh, Peter Dinklage. That's a strong, small man, dude.
There's
I
a
love
lot
that
of
guy.
little people missing out on being saints.
Oh, he's awesome.
Anyway,
That vampire blood, that vampire
Cannibalism.
cannibalism.
Yeah.
That, I wonder how many people that branch into a certain. That's a very like niche thing that some people do.
Yeah.
Maybe like
There's a lot of niches.
being like gothic is kind of like the first step into that.
That's like level 2 gothic.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But I think a lot of people lack a sense of community, and I think that's how some people branch out, and they're like,
I
I'm
don't
doing
fit
this
in
any-
because I
That
I
makes
found
sense.
my community, and
Yeah.
I finally fit in somewhere and have a social circle, and that's how they identify now, because that's
a
big
dangerous
part.
game.
the
man.
misfits.
It is a dangerous game.
Taking
It
advantage
is
of
a
those
dangerous
people
game.
who don't have a home. Like, I mean,
That's how religion
Marilyn
starts.
Manson isn't like a hate group thing, but
That is how religion starts, kind of.
you're not wrong. But like Marilyn Manson is a pioneer of like here's something for you to relate to for all of the angry lost souls of the 80s and 90s and so forth. But like people take advantage of that and start hate groups, and
Oh,
they
definitely.
find a common enemy to rally around, and it's awful.
I know Marilyn Manson gets a ton of bad press, but he's really well spoken.
It was my first concert I ever went
Oh,
to.
really?
I was
Okay,
14.
there you go. And,
Did you lose your virginity at that show?
I wish.
Was it Marilyn Manson?
I'm sure somebody did.
Is that why you felt bad?
Wait. Is it true that he removed his bottom two
No.
ribs?
No.
No, it's not.
Dude, they
Okay.
said that about like Michael Jackson. That story has been applied to so many different fucking people.
Wait, can you do that? Does your spine actually have the flexion to?
There was a guy on Reddit the other day who,
There's people who can do it.
yeah, there was a guy on Reddit the other day. that
I've
didn't even
unfortunately
have-
seen videos of it.
Oh god,
It's
That didn't
not
even
good.
Have to. It's not good. Why? Can you break down? Can you take us through?
I
why
mean, maybe
not
it's good, but to me, on a personal level, it's not something I'm into. So
Why
if
is
you're
that?
into it, it's great. It's probably awesome for some people, but for me, it's like
Does that have something to do with
Nice
your
opening.
sexuality?
some people like apples, some people like oranges. Man, I don't like that.
Why can't fruit be compared, man? Lil Dicky said
I'm
that.
more of a papaya man, but, you know.
There's a guy in Red the other day. God damn it!
I don't hate that. I'm not attracted to that. I need to clarify that. Anyone can do anything they want with their bodies and love whoever they want with their bodies. It's just
Oh, yeah.
Also-
I'm not into that.
Disclaimer: retroactive trigger warning. We talked about rape earlier, so if you—that's a sore subject. Real sorry.
Because some people watch
Head-
this in reverse. So
Yeah,
you're
so
good.
heads
Yes.
up on that. Too. Disclaimer: we can't speak to that at all because we've never been victims of it. So
Victims.
victims of rape or perpetrators
Oh, yeah,
of rape.
you're right. I
We've
thought you
never
were
been
talking about the gay
involved.
thing.
No. In the rape, we don't have any grounds from which to speak on.
Oh, yeah.
We're just speaking from our experience and perceptions. So
We're also privileged being white males in
super
that area.
fucking privileged.
Oh, yeah.
It's so nice to just be able to walk down the street. God damn.
It's stupid.
Going back to the
It's getting
women,
better,
like
though.
it would be terrifying. Fuck.
Oh, yeah. It'd be horrible.
My girlfriend has said a couple times like how much safer she feels when I'm with her in like downtown and shit, and I'm like, God, that must be awful.
So this is like a very controversial thing, and I'm very in the middle. I'm not really sure exactly what to think about it, but I feel like the whole like just guns in general, conceal and carry, it can save a lot of lives, especially with
Nice
women,
topic.
dude. I feel like with women, it should be easier for women to get guns because they're less able to defend themselves and they're more likely to be attacked because
And they're
because
probably
of that
more
reason.
careful.
Yeah, the women honestly. So this, I don't mean to stereotype this, and if I am stereotyping this, I mean it in the most positive light ever. But I feel like women, on average, are more nurturing and caring and loving towards others because they've got that like mother complex. They wanna see people live and grow and live happy lives.
We need
Definitely.
more women.
Men are more like, I want to get laid and fuck this dude up. You know?
I want to
And
get
if you
laid.
look at the,
No. I want to get laid and fuck this dude.
Oh,
No, no.
some men are like
And
that,
if you look at
and that's fine.
the type of people that are mass murderers, it's white males
Yeah.
I don't think there's
It's
ever been.
always fucking.
Has there ever been a woman that has done a mass shooting?
I don't think there has, and that's fucking nuts,
I never
man.
thought about that. You're right.
Yeah,
That came
it's
up the
all
other day, and I
male.
thought about it. My friend Alex is super big into like gender studies and like masculinity, which
Oh,
is super
really
cool.
interesting,
But
yeah.
there's so many fucking problems that could be solved by
Yeah.
men being taught better and like raised better,
definitely.
and not just like be tough, don't fucking cry. You know, the stereotypical
The
shit.
stereotype that men are inherently violent, I think, is a horrible, horrible stereotype.
Yeah.
Like we want to play with GI Joes and play with Nerf guns and shit when
You
we're
think
young.
it's taught?
Oh yeah, I think it's totally taught.
I think obviously
You
there's
guys
some,
think so?
there's some nature to it.
Well,
but
there's testosterone, which is a chemical that makes you prone to violence.
I
I would
mean,
say prone. I would say more aggressive.
So, okay, so for me,
I didn't get that until I was like 18, man. I was such a pussy in football.
to,
your
to,
first
to
mustache
back up
last year.
to back up a little bit,
Yeah.
like with the gun thing, my dad teaches gun safety training and archery, and he loves guns, and he has a bunch of guns, and he hunts, and he loves the sport, and he loves teaching people about the sport. He's got a conceal and carry. Like
Yeah,
he's an
yeah.
awesome dude, a super responsible gunner, and he teaches that on me. But I'm not really into guns. Like I don't feel like I have a reason to own a gun. I'm not against people owning a gun necessarily. I feel like there's reasons to own a gun and people that should have a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, but to like move forward to the whole like violence thing,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like sometimes like violence in parentheses or quotations can be like kind of a good thing. Like mixed martial arts can teach you discipline, you know?
Mhm.
It teaches you to respect another person. If you can get into I wrestled and boxed a little bit when I was younger. I wrestled a shit ton growing up with my dad because he was like state level wrestler and my aunt was a wrestler. I did that and it felt good, but like there's something to be said about, because it's not okay to fight people in real life. People get upset. There's something to be said about another person being like, it's okay to hurt my body. Like,
Yeah.
let's get our aggressions out on each other. And like, it's like a beautiful thing. It's like hugging violently, kind of.
There's a couple. Well, if you look
That's
at
what I call sex.
just
Same thing.
wrestling around.
It's the same shit. Sex is violent, man.
Hugging violently. That's buy my new book.
You guys get what I'm saying, though? Like, there's
No, no,
something
I totally
beautiful
get it.
about
It's-
that. You're
I think
allowing
that
somebody
we
to
are-
fuck you
I
up.
think that we are a couple generations removed from violence being a lot normal in everyday lives. Like, people just beating each other up, for example.
I've talked
Yeah,
about it before. My
that's-
dad used to fight. Like neighboring school would come over to the town, and next time they'd go over to the neighboring school's town, and there'd be like 10 dudes just fucking brawling it out.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah, for
Even
sure.
when I was in school, that was the thing. People would. I went to a really big school in middle school. There was a shit ton of people. People would fight at recess. That was a normal thing. And like, there was areas where you could do it, where people wouldn't see it, where people would do it every fucking day
definitely.
because the aides wouldn't see that
But
shit.
the
It was like a
thing
little
about
fight
it
club.
is, I kind of refer to myself as a pacifist.
Yeah.
Very mellow guy.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm not, overly aggressive or anything like that. But I think that we, as a species, have that fight or flight mentality, right? And
Yeah.
I think that we're starting to evolve where we can solve things in a more diplomatic manner, but we still have that like ingrained tension in our bodies, and I think that a lot of people don't know how to release that.
Don't have an idea.
And I think that like how stagnant and how the activity levels of a normal person aren't very high. Like going,
Right.
like
Most people are
exercising
pretty
and like
sedentary.
yeah, mostly sedentary people. They're like going out and exercising and getting that out of their
That
bodies.
would get it out.
They're building that up, and it's coming out in weird and different ways that we've never seen before.
I'm such a fucking sloth. But you, on the other hand, are a goddamn modern day Adonis.
Yeah, dude. Let's talk about fitness. Can you
This is
tell
a
us?
perfect
Little,
Fitness,
perfect
yeah.
transition.
So
can you tell us a little bit about your fitness background? Like,
yeah, I can definitely. And I want
Fitness-
to hear from you guys a little bit
fitness
too.
dick in
But
your mouth.
so I am into fitness. I studied a little bit in school, and then kind of took a weird career path, and I'm a pre-sales engineer guy now. But I like to do fitness. It relieves stress for me. Makes me, if I don't do fitness, I get like anxiety and a little bit of nervousness and
Get
kind of just
Get on edge.
I know exactly what you mean, dude. That
Yeah,
relieves
and
a
it's-
ton.
It's like I just don't have that the kind of voice in my head that's kind of like that anxious voice that that's there when I do exercise.
You get strong and you feel confident.
Definitely. Oh yeah.
Strong like bull.
Confidence level and stuff like
Me
that.
Nothing
But
can
it's-
hurt me, dude. I can lift so much weight.
Me lemur, strong like bull.
But no, I've always been into fitness. I think it really started when I saw my dad lose a ton of weight when I was 13 till about 15ish. He's a smoker for many years, and then he quit smoking and he turned to food. And then he was really heavy. I think at 360 or something.
That
and
is pretty heavy, man. Damn.
That's a big boy.
lost a ton of weight. Got a weight set in the basement and treadmill and all that. So
Is
I
he
think that's
still in
kind
pretty
of
good shape?
yeah. Oh yeah,
Hell
no,
yeah.
he's went down to 180, so he
Fuck,
literally
that's lighter
cut
than me,
his
dude.
body in half and
That's gotta be
lost
surreal,
a
dude.
human.
He
so,
went up on stage during a magic show and the magician
much.
sawed him in half.
but no, I think he's probably 200 pounds now, and he's a little taller guy. But seeing that like transformation, I saw that and I was like, well, I never want to go through. So looking at your habits and maybe this was mature of me at that age, but I was just like, I never want to be that 40-year-old that
has to.
that like the shoulds or the coulds turned into shoulds.
Yeah.
So it's like, I could
Yeah.
go work out right now, and then it turns into, hey, I'm an overweight 360-pound man, and now I have to go work out now, or else I'm gonna die.
Right, dude? There's so many negative things that come with being fat.
The biggest driver for me is my disgusting body. Like I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, you are repulsive. And so then I do exercise. But other than that, like, I do get fucking.
Do you feel shitty when you're heavier, or is it just like a style thing? Because
Maybe.
Because, like, for example, Hawaii is like, I think it
one
might
of the happiest.
It might be the fattest state in the U.S. and it's also the happiest state. One of the happiest states in the U.S. They're one of the most obese and one of the most healthy, and it's related to stress and things like that. But they're fat and happy and healthy.
That's
what I'm making.
Fatness comes from. Like back in the olden days, only the wealthy people were fat because they could afford it, right? And now it's so easy to get so much food for so little money that anybody can be fat. So
many calories, man.
I mean, traditionally it was like the fatter you were, the happier you were. The fatter you were, the happier you were.
Like only kings had enough money to get enough food.
Yeah,
be fat.
the shitty food
Yeah.
is cheap now.
Don't touch the fucking mic.
The food that makes you fat is so fucking cheap. You buy an avocado, that shit's like $5 now.
Yeah,
dude.
it's kind of
God
turned into
damn
like
it.
the inverse. So it's like only
Skinny people.
like wealthy people are healthy.
Yeah,
or
I don't know if
thin.
we talked about this in the I think we talked about it in the podcast about how
What's the
fucked
podcast?
up it is that skinny tan people are not attractive and like fat pale people are attractive. Like
Dad
the
bods.
switch that happened between like the 1900s and the 2000s.
People are like working out in the fields and they get a
Yeah,
tan.
now we try
Yeah.
and become like the fucking worker body. It's
Yeah.
so weird.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but no, fitness, like going back to why I like fitness, I think it kind of like calluses your mind too. To go through like a painful like hour workout, that's going to be the hardest part of my day. So you can handle anything else that gets thrown at you.
It's not fun.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Gives you
I
some
think
frame of reference.
Yeah,
You get
for
like
sure.
a high, so I don't work out all the time, but there's points in my life where I have a goal and I work towards that goal by working out, and I'm like, I want to get jacked, I want to lose a bunch of weight, whatever. Like I've done it. I've done a few different things. I've gotten bulky and I've lost a bunch of weight. And the fucking high you get after working out is one of the greatest feelings
yeah.
ever. It's just,
Oh, yeah.
it's like the same as like after fucking, but it lasts way longer.
Yeah.
It's such a good feeling. You feel so good about yourself for being productive and just like fighting yourself. You overcame yourself. You overcame your mind. That's a wonderful thing.
You came all over yourself.
It's a high. Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of.
they call it the runner's high.
The runner's
But
high.
if lift weights or whatever, you
I
can
always
get that
feel
same
like
feeling.
such a tired, fat piece of shit when I get done.
You don't feel
exercising.
good afterwards?
I mean, there's a sense of accomplishment, right? But like,
Yeah.
I just fucking am so. I'm not actually
Just like
fat.
a
I weigh
baby.
like 180, 190, but I'm a shorter guy. So I'm not super fat, but like, Jesus Christ, I'm a piece of
The
shit.
best time I ever felt working out was I'm not
breathing
a
heavy
runner
right now, sitting
at
here.
all, dude. Like I struggle with a mile, and one time I was able to get over that hump and made it 3 miles, and it was the coolest fucking thing ever. And I took a picture of the treadmill and sent it to this chick who runs a lot, and I was like, woo,
Yeah,
catching up to you.
Yeah.
And she was like, whatever. She sends me a fucking 8-mile run picture back. But for me, it was the greatest thing ever, and I felt so fucking good about it. It's like top 5 greatest feelings in my entire life. Being able to run 3 miles, which is nothing. That's like a 5K, dude.
But it's a frame of reference to where you were before that. You could barely run a mile, now you can run 3 times that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
This summer I started doing that. I was running a mile and a half away from my house and then a mile and a half back.
You ran back too?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
dude.
like,
fuck, that's a
so
5K.
I'd have to stop like once or twice each way, but I got it down to like I was doing 9-minute miles for each
That's a
mile.
good-
That
that's
was
a good
that is
that
a
was my
really
pace.
good mile.
And
And-
the thing about that too is, I feel like people just they're trying to like increase their running. I think they should just say, hey, I'm gonna jog for 10 minutes, and then not even look at the mileage, because then
Right.
they compare like, this person who's 8 miles, that
For
person's
sure.
doing 10 miles or whatever. But yeah, continue on with how'd that
No,
go?
I was at last time I was at the doctor. They're like, yeah, you should get 30 minutes of exercise 5 times a week, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm not. I have a calisthenics routine that I'll try to do like 5 times a week, but it's usually only
What's
like
your
3.
calisthenics routine for the viewers?
Ah, Jesus Christ, it's not really anything much, but it like keeps me somewhat in shape to combat all the fucking
more
food
than
that I
nothing.
shovel into my face.
Let me qualify my calisthenics routine. You know, it's like
No, let's hear it. I'm interested
Anyway,
too.
I do 3 sets of 30 push-ups, and then after each set of push-ups, I'll do like a core exercise. So I'll do 50 crunches, and then another 30 push-ups, and then 20 leg raises. So like laying flat at 180 degrees, and then picking your legs up 90
It's
degrees.
an ass exercise, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
and then,
a full body exercise.
Yep, and then the final set of 30 push-ups, and then I'll do 80 Russian twists, which is like a V sit. So like 90 degrees on your ass, and then hands back and forth, side to side.
More
So,
abs, yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
3 sets of 30 push-ups, and then those ab exercises in between the sets of push-ups. And
Right.
yeah,
That's a lot of push-ups.
It's a solid workout, man.
it's all right. I
Most
usually
people probably couldn't finish
my
that.
fucking heart rate gets going pretty good. I get sweaty and tired, so it's more so just I need more cardio, because I'm not like I've got some decent muscle built from that, and I don't I'm not like super big on building muscle. I just want to not be
People
fucking
underestimate push-ups, man. That works out a lot of little baby muscles around your shoulders.
body weight
The thing, the
fitness.
thing about it too is like that's a simple routine that probably takes you 20 minutes or something
Yeah,
like
15.
that. And the biggest thing is when people start out on their fitness journey, they it's more in tune to what you do. It's like, oh, I'm gonna hit it hard for this next 6 months.
Yeah.
I would 100% rather have somebody do a routine like that, maybe 3-4 times a week for 5 years, than hit it hard. Go every single
Yeah.
day for 2 hours for 6 months.
Yeah, can
For
you
sure, dude.
What are your opinions on like? There's more people who are coming out now saying that it's more important to do something every day, do as much as you can, rather than hitting that set routine. What are your
Yeah,
thoughts
the
on?
argument is that it's better to not push yourself to the edge.
Like, don't work yourself to exhaustion.
It's
every
better
time.
to work out like halfway there where you're having a good time and you're doing it every day, and then at the end of the week you end up with 20% more output than it is to just fucking go hard and hate it the whole
Definitely.
time.
So, like,
3 times a week.
you have to have a frame
I
of
mean,
reference of where.
To give you some context,
Yeah.
you go hard every day,
Oh yeah.
fucking monster. But
And if it's like you literally change your physiology when you work out. So if you stepped into my shoes and you try to work out
I'd
like
throw
I
up.
did, you would probably not be able to walk the next day and
Yeah,
get
fucking throw
rhabdo
up.
or.
you
yeah,
made
definitely.
Soleil from the second podcast. You worked him out one time and he fucking threw up, right?
Yeah,
He threw up?
Yeah,
You were pushing.
that was
dude.
bad. He wanted to lose weight, and I was like, dude, come with me to the gym, and I brought him through my
He
normal
bought
routine,
you.
and
He bought himself a membership and he bought you a membership, and that was the deal.
That was the deal. That was in my younger, more inexperienced days. But no, I feel bad about that. That was bad.
Yeah, you're one of those.
But it's back to the frame referencing. You literally change your physiology. So when people and this just goes to goals, like looking at goals in general. People are like, I'm gonna stop, doing whatever it is, eating healthier, whatever it is. They try to change so many things and jump right into it, and change way too much, way too early, and that just sets them up to fail. For example, like if I'm gonna, try to eat healthier or whatever it is, I'm gonna
ever do that.
And if I eat really poor, I'm gonna jump into eating no sugar and maybe doing this.
Go
and,
100%.
yeah,
right away.
just like a way
0 to
into
fuck
it.
yeah,
And
real
it's-
quick.
And the
It's
thing
not
about it is,
sustainable.
maybe you should start with, and they, if they stop eating no sugar, they get headaches and all sorts of crazy shit happens in their body, and then a week later they go back to the normal ways because it's too hard. People should start small and do that for a month straight, and then add a second thing in, and do that for a month straight, and have the discipline to stick to something simple, and have the vision of that end goal building onto bigger things.
What's your like normal workout routine? Like, what do you do? What did you do? Did you work out today? What did you do today?
Yep.
What time did you do?
You don't
it?
even have to ask him if he worked out today. Of course he worked out today.
You don't have any days off?
No days off right now. So I give you a
wait.
little frame reference. I'm a big goal setter, right? And I broke my leg last November. I think we just talked about that.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah, shut the fuck up about it. No
Oh
more
my.
hear about your bum ass leg.
and with that, so I had to do a ton of rehab, and I got really obsessive about it. So I started working out twice a day.
The
So
doctor was like super taken aback by how fast your leg was healing. Right?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So like even the bone just healing. I don't know if that's genetics or whatever it is, but I got out of my cast at 10 weeks, and
What was your projection?
it was 12 weeks in a cast, so it's
Yeah.
2 weeks early. And then they're like, hey, you could have pain for up to 6 months. I came back and I rehabbed it, and I was walking normally and going back to the CrossFit classes and stuff like that within
Yeah, you
2
do
months.
CrossFit. You fucking insane
Oh,
person.
CrossFit, that shit is crazy, dude. That gets
So-
you in such good shape.
It gets you in pretty good shape. So it's CrossFit is, for people that don't know, it's interval training. So kind of like what Kyle does, where you hit an exercise and you spike your heart rate really, really high, and then you do maybe 3 or 4 rounds of that. It's called HIIT training as well, high intensity interval training,
Okay.
where people and it's like proven to be one of the best fat burning exercises out there.
It's good for your. Is it good for your
It's
heart
great
or
for your
bad
heart.
for your?
Oh yeah,
Great for your heart.
It'll
okay.
increase your cardio overall as well.
Is it
But-
as good as long distance running?
That's a different type of. I can get really into the weeds here, but like
Let's get
you
inside
have
baseball. Let's put those cleats on.
So you have your anaerobic system and then your aerobic system.
What's the anaerobic?
So
anal aerobic?
you have that one too. We won't talk about that one right now.
Different system, Kyle.
But the so anaerobic system is anything usually under like a 3-minute threshold. So if you're doing like
So like
sprints or
sprint muscles and stuff, like the,
so
the
it's
big
like
muscles. where
you're
like
using
floating.
your glycogen stores within your
Okay,
muscles,
yeah.
which is
I have a
which is
lot of
sugar.
those, and I don't have the long
So
distance muscles.
the aerobic system is when you do anything 10 plus minutes, and you're removing lactic acid from your muscles through your
How does lactic acid work? I've always. Do you know how it works? Because I've always been
it's
like
basically
kind
your
of on the
blood,
fence.
your lungs replenishing your blood, and the red blood cells are moving the lactic acid and circulating blood back through
But
your
it
lungs.
just builds
So
up
it's
on
just
your muscles, right?
oxygen.
Yep, it's just like oxygen
Oxygen to your
depletion.
muscles.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So the more fit you get, the more efficient your aerobic system gets, and the more efficient your blood can pump, and your lungs can get oxygen to your muscles into your different systems. That was a long tangent, but when CrossFit's kind of cool too, because it's the reason I like it. I do other strength training and stuff like that too, and I've done bodybuilding, and I enjoy those workouts as well. The cool thing about it is you always do something different, which is kind of good for me because I sometimes get bored if you do the same routine 4 or 5 times a week.
Yeah.
So you sometimes do workouts that are sprinting workouts, and they only last for 3 or 4 minutes. Other times you do a workout that's 35 or 40 minutes, and it's more of a medium pace rather than a sprint. So there's always kind of something different. And then maybe the next day you're doing like a strength workout, so you're lifting really, really heavy.
Yeah.
And then the next day you're doing body weight work and you're just doing push-ups and sit-ups and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's not like hyper focusing like a strength athlete who just wants to lift as much weight as possible, or a long distance runner that just wants to run as far and as long as possible. It's kind of blending a lot of different facets from different fields.
Yeah.
How bad do you think it is to work out? Let's say you do. How bad is it to do bench day 1 and then do bench day 2 for your chest muscles and your shoulders?
It's important to recover. It's really important to recover.
If you go less hard, is it less damaging to your body in the recovery process?
So intensity, it depends on the intensity that you have with the workouts as well. Because it's
Sorry, I guess.
Come on, Brendan.
I'm a popular dude. I'm sorry.
Is it my mom? You can answer it if it's my mom.
It's not your mom, so I'm not gonna answer it.
Okay.
To give you a frame of reference, so the story that I was wrapping up earlier, I broke my leg, started doing ton of rehab, started to do 2 workouts a day. So I do my rehab for my leg and do all sorts of leg exercise in a normal gym with not a CrossFit gym, like a normal gym with different machines and
like a Planet Fitness type thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
In where I work, they have a free gym in the basement, and there's like different machines like the leg extension and leg press and stuff like that isolate certain muscle groups and movements, which are great for rehab. And then I go to CrossFit in the afternoons and do as much as I can. I usually scale it down because my leg wasn't fantastic. So I started doing these two workouts a day, and I've continued that since.
2 days? What
Yep.
are you in fucking high school football?
Pretty much. No, and I did a strength cycle for about 10 months to get my back squat up. And my goal was from the day that I broke my leg, kind of like on my legiversary, I called it.
Yeah.
Anniversary when I broke my leg, I wanted to back squat 400 pounds. And my previous best prior to breaking my leg was about 320. That day happened, and I didn't get to 400. I got to 370. But since then, I moved on to a different goal of rowing 1,000,000 meters in 3 months. So that's what I'm doing right now.
You got a Frank Underwood rowing
That's
machine?
some crazy shoulders, man. I love it.
I don't have a Frank Underwood rower. I have the cheaper version. That one's like $4,000. It's very expensive. The water rowers.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh man, made out
But
of
then
wood.
you get the
and-
nice swoosh and you can piss yourself while you're rowing.
Who's Frank Underwood, man? Put it on the show.
Oh, House of Card?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a
Come on.
fantastic show, but
you
fuck you,
know-
Kevin Spacey.
Fun fact is rowers. Since that show came out, rowers have like exploded in popularity.
That's funny.
Yeah, really funny.
Isn't
And that
that
particular
stupid?
rower,
That's like-
isn't that
oh,
hilarious?
you guys
so
know
stupid.
The
dude.
term bro code was virtually non-existent on the internet before How I Met Your Mother. Barney Stinson, aka Neil Patrick Harris, could be argued that he invented the term bro code.
That's awesome.
Obviously, there's somebody who was a fucking writer that wrote that.
There's a book called Bro Code.
Yeah, it's from Barney Stinson.
Oh, okay.
From
There you
that
go.
show. But it that just soared in popularity because of it. Anyway,
There's
awesome.
so many fucking stupid things in
Yeah.
this world that explode
Dude,
because people find it interesting.
I love that writers of media, whether it's TV shows or movies, can have such an influence on pop culture like that.
Oh,
The fact
yeah.
that they fucking implement whatever device or thing that rowing machine,
Oh, yeah.
fucking bro code into the show, and then it pops off like that. I think that's so fucking cool.
It is super
I would
cool.
love that.
It's like propaganda.
I'm gonna start so many memes from this
How-
fucking podcast.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. He took a picture that lines up. It was a sunset in New York, and it lines up exactly like with the buildings of New York. I forgot what it's called.
Oh, yeah.
But he took a picture like that, and he coined the term, and it exploded in popularity. Now that day, where the sun lines up exactly with the all the buildings in New York, everybody's in the fucking streets.
Oh, God.
You can't even get anywhere.
That's
like
Really?
in New York. You can't get.
Isn't that
New York traffic sucks.
crazy, dude?
Like, everybody is in the streets taking pictures.
my
6 o'clock.
Neil
at
deGrasse
sunset.
Tyson, what have you done?
Oh,
Dude,
man.
one of my
Fucking crazy.
Oh,
One of my favorite
hilarious.
YouTube videos. It's super quick. It's from the Cosmos, and it's Neil deGrasse Tyson stopping to smell the lilacs, and he's like, the smell of lilacs, and it's like that's the original video. It's just a clip, but then somebody cut in a fart at the beginning of it when he goes to smell the
Yes.
lilac, and it's fucking hilarious. Look it up. It's Neil deGrasse Tyson smell the lilacs
man.
fart. I'm sure is the key terms that would get you to that video. So fucking funny.
That dude is so
Just
funny.
a good old.
I wish
the smell of
I
lilacs.
wish there was like a church for science and
Scientology.
Yeah.
Well, not Scientology. I knew you were gonna go there, but I wish
sorry.
there was
Thanks
like
for the setup.
I wish there was a church for people who are just like this whole thing kind of sucks, but I want to get a little bit enlightened as far as existing goes. There's people like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah,
They
it's
just like talk about shit.
they do have that actually.
Oh, yeah.
It's Bill Nye VHS tapes.
No, I think it's the Church of Bacon.
The church.
I think more popular scientists would be a great thing.
I wish there was a church for people who are just normal people in,
Bill Nye's
in
a
the
fucking
world.
Bill
you
Nye's
know?
a fucking poser.
Not
For
really.
those of you
Bill
who
Nye.
don't know,
You think so?
I'm sorry
Why-
to shatter your dream.
Why is Bill Nye a poser as somebody
'Cause
who
he's-
grew up watching and
He's
enjoying
like
being
not a
Bill Nye
real
videos?
scientist.
Doesn't he have a degree in something?
I don't know.
Science-related?
It's some bullshit. He's not a
A
real
PhD?
scientist.
Oh, that's
Yeah, but what makes him bullshit? Because he seems very passionate about science, and if the argument is that he can't become a scientist based on learning about science on a
Sure.
like, here you go, credential basis.
I think that was more so like he was a figurehead for the TV shows. Like there were people that actually knew what they're talking about. The original Bill Nye series, right? There's good science in there, and I'm sure he's a smart dude, but he's like not. I don't know. He's not as he's not
He's
all
just
that
the
he's cracked
mouth
up to
of
be.
science.
Yeah, he's the mouthpiece. If the science ever did speak, he's the last true mouthpiece. That's a fucking Hosier lyric for Bill Nye. You're welcome.
My favorite thing about science is that it's not like 100%. It's really close to 100%, but it's like this is like a theory and it can change.
Yeah,
That's a fucking beautiful thing because there's so many other things in this world that are like
absolutes.
this is absolute. You have to believe this or you're wrong.
Fucking hate absolutes.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. Sorry if I offended anyone with that statement, but
Well,
you're wrong.
but fuck you.
And I hope you enjoy the podcast.
I hope you enjoyed it. Dude, I could go on for hours about this shit.
yeah.
We've been real bad lately about talking forever.
Dude, who gives a fuck, man?
I know.
There's probably
Yeah,
nobody
yeah.
even listening right now.
I think that the long form type of conversation doesn't exist enough in our day and age.
I enjoy it.
And
There's
it's like
so many fucking
people
podcasts, though.
People are no, not even podcasts. People that are texting and people are
Short form
short form
communication.
communication. Like, how long do you spend on the phone with
The
your
bro.
friends, or how long do you spend talking to your friends uninterrupted? No phones, no external communication or anything like that. I
mean,
think it doesn't exist.
I already fucked that up because I answered the
You
call
totally
from my mom.
did.
Yeah,
But
dude.
so here's the thing: talking on the phone can be good. I'd way rather talk in person.
Yeah, sure.
My mom's mom is so good about talking on the phone. She's so to the point. I like. There's something about phone conversations
Your
sometimes. that, like,
grandma?
yeah.
Why are you calling her your
Mom's
mom's mom?
because everybody knows this is real personal. Everybody knows who my dad is, and everybody knows who my mom is, and therefore they know which grandma they belong to. It's real important to clarify that it's my.
she's
all
got
right,
two
all right.
grandmas.
That make,
My
I
two
get what you're.
grandmas. My
I get what
maternal
you're saying.
grandmother.
There's
Mom's
two
mom's
totally
and
different
Dad's
families.
mom.
You can't just say your grandma
No, I
because
get
you
it.
want to. All right.
I got
I'm
two
sorry.
grandmas. I don't have any grandmas.
Games.
I got two gams.
Game games?
Anyway,
Alright.
she's fucking super to the point. I love talking to her on the phone. It's super
Oh, yeah.
efficient.
Good,
But-
awesome.
No, long form communication needs to be
No,
more
I
of a
think
thing.
that that's why podcasts are so popular. Because people are longing for that long form conversation that they're not having in their normal
Yeah,
lives.
we're so fucking on to the next thing in society, like with how efficient things have become and how the brevity or
Brevity.
not is brevity
I don't think that's the word.
the
My
I hope it-
vocabulary is
is it a
horrible,
word?
so
no,
don't
it
even
is,
ask
but I
me.
don't know if it's. I think brevity is the right one, which is like abbreviation. Like it's how short things are and quick
Yeah,
with communication is with texting. You know, I think you're right.
and I think the attention spans of people are just
Oh my
proportional.
God.
And even myself, oh gosh, like I can't even give you an example. Well, no, actually, I do have a good example of this. I couldn't sit down and read a book 5 years ago.
yeah.
So I set out a goal for myself to read a book every 2 weeks. 2017. You remember this?
Yeah.
2017. I read
you
26
do it?
books. I did. I
Damn,
finished
dude. Nice.
finished my goal of 26 books, which is 24 is 2 a month, but 52 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah.
How long
52
did
weeks.
you read every night? Would you say?
I read. It was in waves, man. I slacked a lot. A whole year of reading is you know, I had waves of like super productivity, and then sometimes I didn't read at all.
Lulls, yeah.
Yeah, lulls.
I fucking love reading.
Right.
I don't do it enough.
Yeah, my fear with reading though is like I I'm usually pretty good about picking books that I like, and like by the end of it, I'm like, that was satisfying as fuck. But investing that much time into a book, I'm very big on finishing things once I start them. So if I'm not liking the book, I'm probably gonna finish it anyway.
Oh, don't
Such
do
a
that to
fucking
yourself.
time sink, though.
Dude, if there's a bad book, throw it away.
I don't know.
Don't even like.
Well,
if it's not with your time,
I
it's,
have a very love-hate relationship.
give it 100 pages, and then if it's not,
But
it
here's
just,
the thing, right? Like, what if all that's necessary? Like, what if the means justify the end? You know,
it might.
I don't know. I'd have to finish the book if I started.
Yeah.
I was
So-
forced to read growing up.
Ugh.
So
That's
like
awful.
I got really good at reading, and I was like reading at a college level at like 10 years old, like top of my class.
Humble brag.
I'm just saying, like I did that, and then I fucking the second I didn't have to read every single day for like an
Yeah.
hour, I stopped doing it.
Yeah.
So now I'm good at reading, but I don't go out of my way too much to do it other than like Reddit shit. So
Yeah, there's so many different things that are consuming our attention, though. Facebook,
yeah,
Instagram, you got all the video forms.
You were talking about earlier discipline in your workout, and now we're talking about people's attention span. But I think that so many problems stem from people's lack of self-discipline
oh
in
yeah,
life. There's studies that show people who can delay gratitude as children, like if there's
I
a-
love these studies.
yeah, there's an
I love
experiment
reading about
where
this.
giving them a treat, and the longer they can postpone taking that treat, the more successful they will be later on in life. There's a direct correlation, and like
Yeah.
it's
The exact experiment was they would give these kids experiment gum bubble.
five spearmint stride.
They give a kid a marshmallow, I think it
Yeah,
was.
marshmallow.
And they're like, hey, if you wait 3 minutes and don't eat that marshmallow, we'll give you another one.
Uh-huh.
And
They just kept
or it was it 3 minutes or was it 10 minutes? It was something like ridiculously long for like a 5-year-old kid. Yeah.
like more than 10 seconds to like.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
Fucking
this
jonesing.
sugar. You know, kids with sugar. Oh my gosh, it's
Yeah.
like they just can't get enough of it. It's like crack for kids. But they looked at those kids and how they progressed as adults, and the kids that delayed their gratification instantly. Everything's about instant gratification now. They had more successful lives than the other kids.
I fucking love that study.
success is a weird
It's interesting
thing.
though, because if you look at like compound interest and investing in 401ks and stuff like that, you're taking away from your now
Yeah,
to give it to your future self.
self-discipline could do a lot of people a lot
Oh,
of good.
definitely.
Yeah.
Success is weird, man. Like, there's so many people that you see who like work really hard and work out and live normal lives and work up their companies and become like CEOs and end up shooting themselves. When like you would have not seen that coming because of like
How normal or
I don't know. There's something about it. Like success is so subjective. Like they're trying to be what everyone else wants them to be, and what everyone else sees is a good thing, and it's not making them happy on like a this is who you are basis, you know.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know if I don't know the right word to describe it. I want to kind of say sad, but there's so many people chasing dreams that aren't theirs, and that's kind of a sad thing, you know.
They just get into the system and then they're chasing the next thing,
Yeah, well, I mean, there's like
trying to get promotions and
Like,
trying to
say-
impress other people. And,
say somebody's like their father was a business owner or like a farmer or something. They're not passionate about that at all. They just inherited this business and they do that shit and they wanted to be an artist or something. Maybe that's not like what would have made them money or successful or continued the legacy or something, but they're fucking miserable. And they're just doing it and they're faking it and they're faking it to everyone else. So everyone thinks that they're happy and awesome. And they end up like overdosing on fentanyl or something. There's
Yeah.
so much of that in the world. It's just social pressure, dude. It's
It
awful.
definitely is.
How do you rate success, man? What does it mean to be successful? Is it happiness or is it everyone thinks that you're
Status.
awesome? Status?
I think it's eternal fulfillment at the end of the day, because you can look at what people think of you, and people have varying opinions depending on who it is, and if you're fulfilled at the end of the day, I think that's the
Success.
So
ultimate goal of success, isn't it?
personal thing?
Yeah, and the thing about it too is like if you look at, let's say like monetary value,
Yeah.
millionaires, a lot of millionaires, most of the millionaires are people that have that discipline, that have stored cash in their 401k and investing it
Don't
in
have
different
expensive
things,
vehicles,
that
don't
don't
have
have
huge
expensive
houses.
vehicles and the yachts and the Rolexes and CEOs and stuff like that. They're normal people that work at a $50,000 a job year that put cash away and don't spend money
What's
like
the super rich dude with all the like investment fund like companies and stuff who's super frugal?
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett. He drives like a 6-year-old Cadillac.
He's been in
and
the
lives
same,
in the same house.
He's been in the same house since 1964.
That's what we're talking about right now. He's a
Take
prime
notes,
example.
motherfucker.
He lives in Omaha, Nebraska, and he has for the last 50-something years.
Which is a place with really fucking cheap housing
Oh, yeah.
compared to
He's
the
so
rest of the
smart.
world.
Yeah, I think he bought it for like $40,000 or something too.
Yeah,
just like something,
stupid.
just yeah,
He's
outrageous.
awesome.
Yeah, he is awesome.
What? Let's change lanes really quick.
Let's do it.
What are you most excited to see in the future of tech? Whether it's shit that's currently science fiction but has promise to be implemented in reality, or anything that's on the near horizon.
No, definitely. The thing I'm most excited about is the next type of sensory input that we can have with computers.
Talking microchip interfaces.
Talking like cyborg type stuff.
Yeah.
You can like think for commands.
Cyborg, that's with human and robot
Yeah, Android.
combined. Yeah, Android, whatever
Is
it is.
the other way.
It's like
I don't know what it is.
consciousness in a robot type
Well,
stuff.
it's just like Elon Musk talks about it, and there's many other people talk about it too.
Love
it's like
Elon Musk. We
our-
talk about him a lot.
Let's talk about Elon Musk some more.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Super big fan of him, but he talks about how our thumbs are the speed at which we have interaction with computers,
Yeah.
mostly on a phone or like a mouse and a keyboard. He thinks that, and I largely think this too, is there's going to be some type of different sensory input that we have that we can interact with computers at a much, much faster pace.
That would be
Because
awesome.
it's really fucking slow right now.
It is really slow.
Yeah.
Really slow.
Speaking of that, on like a very basic level for application keyboards,
Yes.
there's much more efficient keyboard layouts than QWERTY.
Oh, absolutely.
But the reason why QWERTY was implemented is because typewriters back in the day would jam if you would hit keys next to each other, right? So they spaced the keys out so you had the least
had to-
likelihood of hitting two keys next to each other so that words don't flow efficiently. But there's so much more efficient layouts for keyboards
Yeah.
that obviously we're still limited by our tactile ability to hit things, but keyboards could be so more efficient.
Like Dvorak.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Dvorak's a
or
type.
a guy we work with, Alan, has been around technology forever. There used to
He's
be
probably going to be on the show at some point to talk cold weather motorcycles
fucking love
and
Alan.
other things.
But to steal one of Alan's anecdotes, and he can clarify better later when he comes on, there used to be this type of thing where you would sink your hands fully into the device, right? And each individual finger had an up, left, right, down motion, and maybe even more than that, but you could use each finger individually in multiple directions. And he said that was wicked fast, but everybody's hands started to cramp because like it was so much movement
Interesting.
on your fingers individually.
You'd probably get used to it eventually.
Yeah, but that was also like just like fucking reaching your hands into a
And that was like your mouse interface too, so you
Yeah.
could go around it. Oh, interesting.
I feel like that would be so much more efficient.
I think that there's, I don't know what it's going to be, but there's going to be something, because I can think like a lot faster than my fingers can type.
You're
Right.
an extremely fast typer.
Yeah, I think the fastest I've clocked in it, I want to say 170, but that might be wrong.
that's
and
real
it was
fast.
kind of like a minute-long type testing.
Yeah.
And that's all from years and years of like spamming shit in World 1 on RuneScape, like buy this, buy this, buy this. Like I'm selling this for 3,000 gold, whatever. It's from playing video games and typing really fast.
Yeah.
Now it's probably more like probably like 120 if I'm sweating. Normal
slow.
speed like
I'm like
100.
Like 40 to 50 at
Yeah,
the
it's
at
all
the
from
top,
games,
top
man.
line.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird talent to have, but it comes in handy a
No,
lot.
it's good. Yeah.
But that being said, there's so much more potential that could be unlocked with.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I think that we talked about earlier with eye scrolling is whether that's a prototype and what the fucking motive was behind that. But that's an interesting thing, is being able to have eye interface and motion recognition to be able to scroll with your eyes rather than your hands is a very basic first step towards kind of what you're talking about.
Definitely.
I feel like it's gonna be like it's like a fucking ball or something that we hold on to and somehow connects to our nervous system, and we can just think and it inputs all of that shit.
Well, they have now for amputees, like neural connections for
joints and fingers.
Yeah,
to like move
yeah.
their mechanical
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
hands.
Right, which is super fucking
Yeah,
cool.
that's a huge deal.
That's just like connecting to like your neurons and different like synapses that
And
happen.
obviously, like you would still act like you're moving your hand, but that is obviously controlled by your brain.
Why can't we implement that on like a smaller level with like?
Do you think
words.
that voice search like Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant, stuff like that is going to be the next input?
That
Do
would
you think
make
that's
sense.
gonna kind of kick off?
I feel like that would be hard to implement in like a full scale work environment
Yeah.
with a bunch of cubicles, but like it's already pretty. It's probably like
It's getting-
60% of the way there.
Yeah, it's getting there. Like the shit that Alexa can do now, it's pretty incredible.
fucking
Like
wild.
the speech recognition that it's the capabilities that it has.
Especially if you get like advanced programs like Dragon Speak, where it's even more
Oh,
efficient.
yeah, for
It's
sure.
Naturally
awesome.
speaking, yeah,
There's authors who use that for their whole book.
it's crazy.
That is crazy.
Kind of when we start talking about interfacing with our voices, it really reminds me, and my brain goes to Ex Machina, which is a movie kind of like similar to Westworld, but it's about the Turing test to see at what point that you can't tell if an android is a computer anymore, like if it tricks you into thinking that it's human. Right?
Turing is like basically the founder of computers.
Alan
for any of
Turing.
you who don't know.
Yeah,
There's a
the-
good movie about it.
It's called Imitation Game. Yeah, that is a phenomenal movie. Go
great
watch
movie.
it. Go watch Ex Machina. Go buy my book. Buy my book. Buy my book. Ex Machina and like where we're gonna go with as technology learns and understands better and can receive more complex inputs, right? And can improvise. Like that's fucking one step away, right? Then all you have to do is put something physically in front of that. But like IBM's Watson, how they had it play Jeopardy,
Yeah.
super fucking interesting to
Oh,
look
yeah.
at the commands and how it processes information, and now they use that to identify cancer and tumors. And machines are so much better at identifying tumors than humans. There's this fucking fantastic book. Let me plug some more shit. We'll fucking make a list, bud. You got material for the next year.
Thank you, Amazon Prime. Give us that 10%.
Yeah, that
Why?
fucking-
Let's make some money. Patreon. Follow us now.
Use the code P Diddy's Awakening.
Kyle's.
Kyle's College Fund. I'm going back to school. I used to sit up my parents' bar. I'd sit up above the bar. It used to be a hotel, so I'd open the fucking window at like 9 o'clock at night and shout at people in the street.
That's
Super
awesome.
small town, but they'd be going to the next door bar where
the hell is
nobody
that?
pees, nobody leaves. Nah, I'd be like, hey, come to Kim's and help support my college fund. I'd yell at people and then duck down. They'd be like, what the fuck? Super funny. Anyway. Back to my point. This
That
book,
explains a lot.
yeah,
Explains a lot.
the
You started your entertainment.
entrepreneur in me. I used to go. I'd have to sell chocolates for band, right? And I'd bring them into the bar, and people would buy a fucking case of chocolates and then not want the chocolate. They'd just be like, "Here's $50, dude. You can sell shit to drunk people so easy when you're a
You're
cute
taking
kid."
advantage of the drunk
Oh,
as a child, dude.
yeah, dude.
Oh my god.
Sorry. Okay, too many fucking tangents. Point was this book called The Undoing Project, and it's about these two psychologists in the 60s and 70s called Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman. And Michael Lewis wrote the book, and he wrote it in response to writing Moneyball, because the concepts discussed in Moneyball about like human decision making and bias and how the Oakland Athletics were able to have such great success on a lower budget. All those concepts were originated by these guys in the 60s and 70s who were psychologists who ended up winning Nobel Prizes in economics because of their studies of human behavior. Super cool. The point was they did tests with doctors that were cancer experts at identifying tumors, and they would put doctors through these tests and they would have duplicates of tumors, right? The doctors not only disagreed with each other, but they contradicted themselves when showed the same tumor twice. They would make a different evaluation based on that same tumor, which is fucking terrifying, right? Based on our experiences and trust in doctors and them being experts, fucking scary that a doctor would not only not agree with another doctor, but they would contradict themselves. That's too much. That
Definitely is.
nobody wants to know that. That's shit you can't unknow. But the point is, computers are fucking phenomenal at identifying that shit. So it's great that that's
it's-
being implemented.
And just having the data of
Everything.
millions and millions of people. A
Yeah.
doctor can never harness that amount of information in just your brain.
To compare against, right?
Yeah, to compare against. That is just...
And obviously, identifying whether it's benign or cancerous tumor was the point
absolutely.
there. So, to know.
And I think it's on melanoma, right? Is that the cancer that they're looking at? Like melanoma's the cancer of the skin.
cell. Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
remember what.
In identifying different... because
Skin
when you
patterns.
get melanoma, you get different different moles and stuff like that in your skin, and some can be cancerous, some can't. And
in the book, they were looking at tumors, and I can't remember if it was brain or lung, but it was traditional tumor type of cancer.
So fascinating.
But the machines are probably better with melanoma.
I think that the another thing too is the heart. It's like heart arrhythmia. So like the one of the things Watson can do and AI can do is look at when like people's normal like heart rhythm. And we have all these sensors like Apple Watches and stuff like that that are constantly looking at that stuff, and it can predict heart attacks and strokes before they're even going to happen.
That's so fucking cool.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, go to the hospital. We got some readings on this, and preemptively maybe get somebody in the hospital before
get into a position where you're not alone.
They can see the patterns that happen before those who fell before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, isn't there dogs that there's a dog that can sense fucking when somebody's gonna have a heart attack?
I think it's seizures.
Seizures, yeah.
Dude, dogs' noses are fucking outrageous.
They're crazy. They also smell the burnt toast. Or s'mores, campfire. What is it when you're gonna have a stroke?
It's burnt toast.
Burnt toast. Yeah, dogs can smell the burnt toast through your nostrils.
Oh Jesus! No, I think I saw this Reddit post and it was about bloodhounds specifically because they have like some of the best sense.
Bloodhound gang.
Is it? It's like 3,000 times a human.
Ooh, I think it's more than that. I think it's way more than that.
I was trying to underestimate.
It's at least 500 trillion times.
Yeah, probably somewhere
as
more
good
around
as
that
human.
Number. Definitely.
Sniffer.
But it said that the sniffer.
Sniffer.
It said that the basically dogs can take, or bloodhounds specifically can take kind of this this picture perfect scent analysis, and they basically like they sniff an item of clothing or something like that from that person, and they take this image that's saved in their brain of the scent, and through a combination of your sweat, your odors, the clothes you're wearing and stuff like that, it takes an image of that and it can track you for up to 132 miles.
What?
That is fucking crazy,
and the thing is,
dude.
It will track your scent until it finds the main source of the scent.
That is so
132
insane,
miles.
dude.
So it can literally track the like your actual path that you took for that long.
That's like Google Maps level scary.
Yeah.
Where you can view your history, right?
And their scent is so good. Bloodhound scent is so good that it can be used in court as evidence.
Damn.
Yeah. Which is...
Well, yeah, good old Cletus here. He sniffed that boy out.
Exactly. So it can be actually used in court against you in your court case, which is absolutely amazing. That just blew me away.
That's super cool.
To piggyback on that with a less cool fact, but also
we're talking
pretty
about
cool
dogs,
fact.
not piggies.
No, we're talking about whatever, man. Dogs can tell how long you've been gone based by how much of your scent has faded from the room. That's how they tell how long you've been gone.
Why does
by
it
how
always-
much less of you they smell.
Why
That's
do
why
they-
they get excited to see you come back.
Why do
they're
they
used
act
to
like
that.
you've been gone for a week when you're gone for 10 minutes and then you're gone for 2 days?
Dogs love unconditionally.
Let's get back to unconditional
Oh
love.
yeah, baby. Let's talk love. Let's get it on.
I think I could keep going forever, but I think we should fucking wrap this up because we're probably at the
How long has it
2-hour
been?
mark again.
What time is it?
It's 8 o'clock.
Oof.
Yeah, we should.
We should wrap
No one's
this up.
listening anymore anyway,
Who
so we
gives
can
a
say
fuck?
whatever we want,
Yeah,
man.
fuck you, Dad. You never loved me. Just
That was
kidding. We have one final question for you. And what do you think the key to living a fulfilled life is?
Oh yeah, this question.
Did you think about it before you came?
No, well, a little bit. I've had this question asked before.
Oh, okay. Well,
But,
I'm unoriginal. Never mind. Podcast is
even
over.
listen to it.
Thanks for
really-
listening, everybody.
No, for the previous podcast, I really liked Soleil's response. That was good.
Ron?
Ron's response was even better.
Yeah, shout out to Ron.
I have a response that's not original, but it's a little bit of a backstory. It goes a couple parts here, but basically the quote is, "You are a prisoner of your own experiences," and I think that really plays into being fulfilled in your life.
Really quick question. How much do you think that's related to the allegory of the cave? Plato's The Allegory of the Cave. Do you know what that is?
No, I don't.
Can I interject really
Yeah.
quick?
Oh no, go for it. Love
It's this proposition that if a person is tied down in a cave for their entire existence and all they can see is a cave wall, if somebody has a fire going and holds up a sword and they see the shadow of the sword, is that a sword to them? If they can never truly escape.
Is that something that's gonna stab them to death? When you say sword, do you see like as something negative that can hurt them?
It's more so is what to us is just a shadow, a component of this thing. Is that the thing to them, right? Can you ever truly remove yourself from that layer to understand better? Or is that too philosophical, or is yours more literal?
That totally plays into the quote. Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
No, but basically that's kind of how I live my life too. I think that the more that I experience and the more that I don't experience, it's really my own doing to put myself into different people's shoes and try to learn and experience and go through as much as I can to gain perspective on life and different people and different situations. Yeah,
That's nice.
Where I heard that phrase was actually from my wife's dad, so my in-laws.
Nice.
Yeah, he's got a really interesting background, and he's a really interesting person. He's a professor. He's wrote like 8 or 9 books.
9 or 2
but
books.
Yeah, 9 or 2 books
At least.
But no, we go on family trips and stuff like that sometimes, and we were at the Grand Canyon. We had this long form conversation. It was like 3 or 4 hours, and I was talking about his experiences and kind of how he grew up and his college life and stuff like that.
Did you upload it to iTunes?
I should have recorded it. And
bet it was awesome.
my wife is there, and she's kind of joining in on some things, and she's like, she's like, that was an awesome conversation. She's like, I learned things I didn't know about my dad in that conversation. But basically he summed it up with that quote, and that's stuck with me ever since. Stuck with me ever since, and that was 6 years ago now.
Isn't it crazy how you can learn shit about people you've known your entire life, like your parents, in conversations that like
it's insane.
People like talking about themselves, but some people don't articulate as well, or something that is very insignificant to them becomes like crazy revelationary to you.
Yeah, like, oh, your favorite color is blank. That's my favorite color. Holy shit.
No, I think it's a little more deeper than that, but
Whatever, you know what I mean.
yeah, awesome. I like that answer.
Thanks, man.
God bless you.
Thank you, every single person that's listening and will listen in the future.
If you're still listening,
super appreciate
Jesus Christ, God bless you for
It means
trooping
the whole
through it.
world to us, and we hope that you feel a part of this like we feel a part
Yeah,
of it. So.
shout out your answers at home. We'll give you your answer pads like you're on Millionaire. Go ahead and answer when it's ready. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Justin.